I totally didn't mean to, like, I don't know what just happened. Spotify doesn't want to play music right now, I guess. Wait, what is happening? I don't even have anything. Wait. Weird. Hold on, let me reset. The music raw, yeah. Spotify was like, fuck no. No, thank you. No, thank you, ma'am. Today's gonna be very chaotic, like normal. Per usual. Why is this happening? Is it my phone? What's going on? Spotify is doing this thing, I don't know if any of y'all have experienced this before, where when you turn the volume up, it like turns itself down automatically. Anyway, whatever. Hi, we're gonna be sounding like we're in an air tunnel today because it's fucking hot. Huh? Yeah, I'm not quite sure what's happening. Like if my Spotify withdrew aux cable privileges. Yeah, Spotify was like, fuck no. Turn this shit off. We're not listening to Persona music again. I don't know what's going on. Okay, wait, hold on. Let me do something else instead. Let's do Is this gonna work? We also have some really fantastic... Ooh. Interesting. What is happening? I don't know. Anyway, welcome to Lore Theory Thursday. Wait, why is this turning itself up? Okay, something must be lodged in my keyboard. Something must be lodged in my keyboard. Because, like, the audio... Wait, what is happening? The audio is, like... Hold on. What's happening? Gee, there's mice in your keyboard. So like, anytime that I press play on like a media player, like Spotify or YouTube, the audio slowly like goes up and then goes down and then goes up. I don't know what's happening. I don't... What the fuck is happening? We're in a helicopter, we're in a wind tunnel, the AC is on, the fucking washing machine is like going crazy. I can't get any audio to work. So, this is Lore Theory Thursday, welcome. The animals are dying, yeah, the animals are leaving. Cooper snoring would make this perfect. I think Cooper's right here. Hold on. My baleful shadow. I also have Bibimbap on like right next to me, so he's more interested in that right now. Anyway, welcome to Lore Theory Thursday. We're going to be breaking down some lore theories that have been submitted by the community via Discord, and we got like a bunch of shit that's been submitted this week and last week that I missed, because what happens during Lore Theory Thursday is we'll get started on one lore theory and it's like, it's fucked. We'll get stuck doing that for like the next 4 hours. I do want to give a shout out though. This is actually something that Jean posted. It was a repost from that Reddit thread that you posted. That was like absolutely cracked. It's from Naro Kurai. That said, I think it's neat that the Horn Scent revered a horned lion god, but with Radagon reincarnated into Mohg's body, he essentially is a horned lion god. Which is like crazy. Cool. That was like such a good clock. That was such a good clock. Because like I knew that there was some reason that Mohg's body was needed specifically. We know that, I didn't know if it was like out of convenience, but we know that Radagon needed to die in order to be passed into the next realm. Why is the audio still climbing? What the fuck is happening? Anyway, always read the YouTube comments. Anyway, yeah, like, sorry, the idea that Radagon needed to pass to be able to go to the Shadow Realm, to like go to the other side, I feel is huge. And the fact that we as Tarnished, we're dead who yet live, so we're able to like traverse both sides. I think it's quite interesting. I don't know, there's a lot going on there that we'll probably talk about today. Yeah, the stream is breaking. Spotify hates us. Elgato is fucked. My controller's disconnected. We might be alone. It might just be us and Ingenue, but that's okay. Yeah. Do you really need anyone else? Cooper's pissed. Okay, wait, am I stupid or did I miss any new dialogue in the base game that would guide you to knowing about interacting with the cocoon? Letta, after Mohg's boss fight, talks to you about it. So it makes me think that, yeah, us being Tarnished is already written into our Uber ride into the Shadow Realm. Yes. And I think that Lady Knight Letta was supposed to be the hint that leads you to the DLC. Do you think that the dragons lost their immortality due to the rune being removed from Faramazula Ring? Honestly, I feel like the fact that the rune was removed really fucked up a lot. But we can talk about that in a little bit. Yeah, the trailer was the hint. The trailer was the hint. I think also too, like there was like a lot of hints alluding to Radagon being Miquella's favorite boy. The story trailer from the original video. Also, sorry, I'm gonna be eating this. Do you think that Meteor being the Gek makes any sense? I don't know, because the Glowmite Queen was said to be an Empyrean, not to be like an outer god or like an outer deity. I don't think that Meteor was an Empyrean. But I do think it's compelling that like there's this theme with motherhood again in Elden Ring. Abandoned mothers. Somebody said, when the Elden Ring was shattered, the people within the Shadow Realm felt it too. Methinks the Crusade was way earlier in the timeline than people think. I think... I think that the realm of Shadow happened, the separation happened earlier, but then the shattering itself happens way later in the timeline. Can you stop? Please? Anyway, let's get started. Tony Pepperoni submitted this, and it's a new timeline, which is pretty cool. I'm excited to get into this. Also, the song is going crazy. Oh my god. Okay. Oh my god. Wait. Okay. You guys, hold on. I think I know what the issue is. I think I know what the issue is. Hold on. I think that the scrolling issue that I'm having problems with is with my mouse. So give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna unplug this bad boy. Holy shit. Oh. It's Thursday, what? Yeah, no, it wouldn't be a Quaylog stream if there wasn't like 500 technical issues, to be honest. I feel like that is just the nature of... That's the name of the game, babes. My video's gonna freeze. My camera's gonna explode. I fixed it! We did it, we're back, we're so back. Okay, cool. So let's do this. All right, babes. We're getting into it. You were cooking, Tony. You were cooking. I'm also gonna get the chat on here. Give me 1 sec, y'all. All right, now y'all can see each other. Let's scooch this over a little bit more. Everybody say hi. Oh, cool, please. Okay. So this is Tony Pepperoni's submission. We're getting into Rauh over here. So you have Asia Minor. Okay, wait. Isn't the Phrygian... Wait. Hold up, Tony Pepperoni. Isn't this like the same group that worshipped the Three Fingers? Is that the same cult? What cult is that? Sabazios. No, that's the cult of Sabazios. Was Sabazios Phrygian? Sorry, we're fully jumping in the deep end right now, and I'm sure a lot of people have no idea what the fuck we're talking about. She's... Oh my god, somebody said yes. Okay, wait, hold on. Okay, so this is the cult of the Three Fingers. It was! The Tony! I'm so sorry to everybody who just like joined this stream. Yeah, like for the people that are new to my like community and new to the... Yeah, for people that are just joining who are like, I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. I don't know how to explain this to you guys. So there was the Phrygians, and there is a deity that originated in Asia Minor that is known or associated with three fingers. This is interesting because a lot of the aesthetic design for the Wandering Caravan originates from Asia Minor and various cultures across the Eurasian steppe. Their like aesthetics are very nomadic people that used to travel between China and parts of the Mediterranean. But a lot of them settled in Asia Minor. This just like hurt my brain. I am so sorry. Anyway, so what I'm trying to say is that Tony Pepperoni found a statue that seems to like be aesthetically inspired by parts of this same culture that also worshipped Sabazios. Isn't Sabazios also associated with Saturn, I want to say? Is it Saturn? No, it's not Saturn. It's Zeus. Okay, never mind. There was like a interpretation of... I'm trying to remember. God. This is like... Fuck. This is... Okay, we're... I am so sorry. Tony, you've fully broken my brain in half. Because the cultures that I clocked... Do you mind if I add to this, by the way? Tony? Also, the Glover music is driving me crazy. I'm sorry. Why did I pick this? Let's do the Pirates Realm. The stream is already off to a wild start. It's fucked. The key difference is that Sabazios was Hellenized and sorry, I can never pronounce this word. Syncretized into Roman religion, but the Three Fingers are considered anathema to all iterations of the Rings cults. Yes, I would say too, though, that like there was a certain ideology or feeling that the Romans had regarding other religions and other deities. So the cult of Sabazios was favored at one point in history, but I would say during the rise of Catholicism and Christianity, it fell out of worship. We're listening to finger music right now. This is all intentional. Don't talk to me about my music choice. Sabazios was used as an excuse to persecute the Jews. I'm like... Sorry, I'm still reeling from this because a lot of the cultures that I clocked... Also, wait, sorry, did Tony give me permission to add to this, by the way? So a lot of the cultures that I clocked... So, for those of you that don't understand, Belura, the civilization in the game, studies the ancient ruins of Rauh. So Rauh is kind of like the originator for a lot of their cultural art and ideas. And so a lot of their practices and knowledge that Mesmer then steals and puts in like the specimen archives is taken from the practices of Rauh, right? So, and then we see all of that information then used in Queen Marika's bedchambers. So Queen Marika, the Golden Order, and the era of the Erd Tree is subsequently inspired by Rauh. Rauh is like quite literally like the crucible or like the origin of a lot of the ideology and like spiritual practices that are being used in the Lands Between. So understanding this like culture is incredibly important. It's incredibly important. Did my camera just die? Yeah, cool. We have this clown music playing. It's great. We're gonna be okay. The kids are all right. Wait, why isn't it letting me click on this? Hello? Okay. My computer is also fully freezing right now too, so we're off to a great start today. It's the proto-civilization. Yes. Yes. So, yeah, the stacks of tomes are the tablets one-to-one with the ones in the specimen library. So we find out through the lore that Fire Knight Healed and Salza were the ones who were really pushing Mesmer to preserve all of the culture and like written history that is then stored in the specimen archives. It seemed like Mesmer's goal with his conquest or his crusade was to like fully annihilate and wipe everything out. He wanted to like fully burn all of Bellerot. It was like a full ethnic cleansing, like burning the library, burning, you know, he was like all about let's get rid of all of this knowledge. But Salza and Healed were both like, no, we have to preserve this stuff. Hence the specimen library. That's why it's important. So Queen Marika gets all of her information about Rauh and about Bellerot from all of the shit that the Bellerot scholars of antiquity used to record. Okay, we understand this. So a lot of the cultural beats that we then see in Bellerot are also Egyptian and Mesopotamian. I posted on Twitter the other day the Egyptian shit. The Egyptian shit. Let's see if I can find it real quick and post it in here. No joke, the Romans first accused the Jewish settlers of Rome of worshipping Sabazios as an excuse to exile them. Yes, I think that is in line with a lot of the stuff that we're seeing regarding the Wandering Caravan. But we'll talk about that a little bit later. Let me grab... Like I said before, my Rauh video is gonna be like fucking obnoxious. God, this soundtrack. Jesus Christ, this picture's huge. Okay, hold on. Oh, I think I just may have crashed. I think everything just exploded. Tony, I just blew up your board, I think. Okay, well anyway. This little boat that we see here is found in Bellerot, and this is an Egyptian funerary boat. So we have ancient Mesopotamia with the Old Palace ruins, we have Asia Minor, and we have North Africa being represented. Quelaag is Lord of the Frenzied Flame. So we have, yeah, the boats as coffins is also a consistent theme. Yes. And then it's also used in, with all the Greek mythology references too. It's really good. I love it. Sorry. Somebody was like, I just got here, we're sitting in silence looking at a boat, listening to the Glover soundtrack. Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay. Anyway, I was trying to add the goat and the Egyptian mythology to Tony's Miro board, but it blew up, so I'm sorry, Tony. Rest in peace. Holy shit. Yeah, they have their own river Styx. So Caro's grave is effectively the river Styx. We talked about it in the newest video. But anyway, let's keep going down Tony's Miro board. No, Mesmer isn't Hitler. Mesmer is more like Julius Caesar or like Constantine. Miquella is more... disenfranchised group that was impacted by like Catholic and Christian colonization and the Roman Empire and how it affected various Germanic groups, which then leads to this idea that like free will leads to suffering. And so therefore you have to remove the component of free will among your populace in order to, and also like create like a pure race, or create like a there's this theme with unalloyed gold in the game that I think is like quite literally, I don't know, it's very telling. Hey baby. Let's chill. Okay, let me do something really quick. Really fast. Oh, damn it. We're so fucked. We're so fucked today because my other monitor is broken. We're so fucked. It's fine. I don't even care. Okay. It's so over. Yeah, okay. This DLC has been catastrophic for me as a base game Miquella enjoyer. I am too, but I think that's what makes Miquella such a like compelling character, is because he's at this point in his life where he could make the right choice. But I think that it's very easy when all you see is like despair and suffering to come to the conclusion that humans aren't innately capable of kindness. Or rather, maybe Miquella took it a step further and was able to acknowledge that like the current system and the current environments don't allow for humanity to exhibit kindness. And that in order to actually get kindness, you have to compel people to be kind. But it removes the component of free will, which I think it's like, I think it is fair to deduce what Miquella deduced. I think that like I understand that train of thought that leads to that path. And I think that it's like, if we look at characters like Anakin Skywalker, or you know, other characters in other works of fiction that go down this path of fascist ideology, I love that Miquella's key words are kindness, and that his aesthetics are like holy, because I think that that is more reflective of real life. Like I do think that, oh wait, what I can't even read that. The intent was valiant. Yeah. I think that like, I think that it aligns more with how a lot of fascist rulers or tyrants will prop themselves up, because they'll create like a cult of personality, or they'll create like there's a lot of god emperors and like groups. They'll create like a very nationalist ideology, but then they'll also like prop themselves up as like a deity type figure. There's also, yeah, Miquella's intentions are good, but the methods are evil. I think also too, it's tragic to see a character that is struggling with the nature of suffering and who comes to that conclusion, because I think it's a conclusion, like if I could compel everybody in the world right now to stop killing each other and bombing each other, right now, if you think about like the state in which the world is in right now, if you could get everybody to stop killing each other, would you? And I think that is something that like, that's a really good thing to kind of be like, damn, that's good writing. That is good writing, because it makes I think what makes a good villain, or what makes a good antagonist, is motivations that like you can really sympathize with or understand. Yeah, it's a fascinating question on ethics. 100%. 100%. but I don't think that it's right. I think that, like, it sucks. There's a piece of me that's like, yeah, I would. Because when you see suffering immediately, like, a lot of the stuff that I've been seeing on my timeline and my feed, like, a lot of us have been seeing, I have seen more, like, dead people in the past 2 years on my feed than I have, like, I think most people see in their lifetime throughout history. And so I think that it makes sense that, like, when you're exposed to that kind of suffering or that kind of trauma, that you would make that conclusion. We're not talking about Mesmer, by the way. Somebody brought up Mesmer in the chat. We're not talking about Mesmer. We're talking about Miquella. But I think that the key component to actually fixing things isn't about removing free will. It's about changing material conditions for people. Like, and not, like, killing people who are different than you. Period. But yeah, anyway, I think it's really good writing. So much of Elden Ring is just contending with the suffering in the world, the way that the Dung Eater's ideology contends with it, with its own ethos. Yeah, exactly. Or like the way that those who live in death, like the Duskborn's ending, contends with it. You have to, like, amend. You have to amend reality in order to include people that don't fit within, like, a given society. But yeah, anyway, let's keep going with Tony's. It's merely a cycle. Let's keep going with Tony's thing. So we got some Phrygian stuff, which is really exciting because of the cult of Sabazios that also plays into Rauh culture, which is really cool. Remembrance of Meteor, the Mother of Two Fingers, hewn into the shadow tree, or the shadow tree. The Mother of all Two Fingers and the Finger Creepers was in turn a magnificently gleaming daughter of the Greater Will, and the first shooting star to fall upon the lands between. Oh, are you drawing the parallel between Sybil? Okay, Anatolian Mother Goddess. She may have a possible forerunner on the earliest Neolithic. Have a possible forerunner. She's Phrygia's only goddess, was probably its national deity. Greek colonists in Asia Minor adopted and adapted her Phrygian cult and spread it to the mainland Greece and to the more distant Western Greece colonies around the 6th century BC. In Greece, Sybil was met with mixed reception. She became partially assimilated into aspects of the earth goddess Gaia, of her possibly Minoan equivalent Rhea, and the harvest mother goddess Demeter. Some city-states, notably Athens, evoked her as a protector, but her most celebrated Greek rites and processions show her as an essentially foreign, exotic mystery goddess who arrives in a lion-drawn chariot accompanied with wild music, wine, and a disorderly, ecstatic following. Uniquely Greek in religion, she had a unique mendicant priesthood. Sorry if I mispronounced that. Many of her Greek cults included rites to a divine Phrygian castrate shepherd consort Attis, who is probably of Greek invention. She became associated with the mountains, towns, city walls, fertile nature, and wild animals, especially lions. This is a good clock. Good job. I'm definitely getting that the story or the, like, historical fiction that inspired George R.R. Martin for this particular story is, like, early Rome, and some of it's, like, assimilation with various pantheons, transitioning into Christianity and Catholicism, and how a lot of those early Roman cults and, like, various members of the pantheon were then kind of, like, swept under the rug. I'm definitely seeing that fully. For sure. So no contemporary text or myth survives to attest the original character or nature of Sibyl's Phrygian cult. She may have evolved from a statuary type found at, I can't pronounce this, in Anatolia, of a corpulent and fertile female figure accompanied by large felines, dated to the 6th millennium BC, and identified as the same mother goddess. In Phrygian art of the 8th century BC, the cult attributes of the Phrygian mother goddess includes the attendant lions, birds of prey, and a small vase for her libations and other offerings. The inscription Matar it reads Mother of the Mountain, reading supported by ancient classical sources. Tutory goddess noted as a mother associated with the specific Anatolian mountains and other localities. A goddess thus born from stone. She's ancient Phrygia's only known goddess, the divine companion or consort of its mortal rulers, and was probably the highest deity of the Phrygian state. Her name and the development of the religious practices often associated with her have been influenced by the Kubaba cult of the deified Sumerian queen Kubaba. Man, we really are, to your point, Tony, we really are seeing Greca Interpretatio in the Lands Between and the Shadowlands, Big Cooper Swift. Like, I mentioned that in a video a long time ago, because, like, obviously we have a lot of the Hermetic symbolism, and we have a lot of the, like, Hermes Trismegistus, which was, like, a reincorporation of an Egyptian god being used in, like, a Roman setting. But it definitely seems like, given all of the Egyptian, Mesopotamian, and Asia Minor cultural beats that are happening in the story, it just strikes me as, like, being very intentional. Like, it's very intentional. She was also worshipped as a fallen black meteorite. There you go. Okay, a giant mass intermingling crucible attributes reduces damage taken from critical hits and headshots, improve the effectiveness, rumored to have sprouted among giants and is known as the mother of crucibles in ancient tower lore. Crucible Hammer Helm. It is said that Devonia quested in search of the crucible's origin and departed for the Lands Between alone. So do you think... Hold on. Okay, so in Greek mythology, the dactyls or dacoli were the archaic mythical race of male beings associated with the Great Mother, Sibyl or Rhea. Their numbers vary, but often they were 10 spirit men. So 10 spirit men, so the 3 ancient smiths and healing magicians. In some myths, they're in Hephaestus's employ. They were taught metalworking, mathematics, and alphabets to the humans. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure that I'm connecting all of your pieces, but I have to, like... Okay, yes. Yes. I also think, in tandem with this, the ancient meteorite ore. Tony, I don't know if you put this on here. Because I was going down the same hole regarding Smith script and, like, all of this stuff, but I think the ancient meteorite sword it uses, like, light attacks. Speaking of Devonia, the base of the figure ruins in Meteor's boss room look like Devonian Cyranoid fossils. Oh shit. Hold on, let's see. Let's take a look at this. Yes! Kyuk is like, yes! But yeah, hold on, let me get the image of Saturn worshipped by Sabazios was said to be made of lead or black stone. Oh, sick. Okay, thank you, Emily. Hold on, let me see if I can edit this. Because there's a lot of stuff going on here. Okay, wait. Don't crash on me now. I'm going to add this Finery boat and some other stuff off to the side. Where's Numen Hornsent Dynasty? Should I put it over here? Hold on. Please don't crash. Please don't crash. Oh, it crashed again. God damn it. What is going on with this? Miro hates me. I don't know why it's being so, like, so bizarre. Please, baby. Please, 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 please. No. Is the pic really huge? That's why I'm trying to... Oh, wait. You DM'd me? What did you DM me about? Hold on. Sorry, everything's a mess today. Tony sent me a link that you can edit. Oh, okay. Maybe that's why? Oh, there we go. Hey, cool. I think that something is just wrong with my whole shit. My whole shit is fucked. I got too much shit on me. Everything is fucked. Miro hates me today. Or Miro hates this particular image. I'm not quite sure why. This is the definition of too much shit on me, 100%. Okay, so this is Egypt. Let me get the date for you actually really quick. Can I also talk to you? I have to talk to you guys about like my next video, because it plays into what Tony's talking about here. Okay, wait. Okay, so these dates, analyzed and interpreted, indicate the origin of the boat or some of its parts before the Middle Kingdom, just on the crest of the decline of the Old Kingdom and cultural transformation rooted in the first intermediate period between the Old Kingdom and the 12th dynasty. I don't think, so like, I also want to be clear too, that like, I think that this, since Belurat is Roman, I think that them having this Egyptian funerary boat is more indicative of Graeca Interpretatio as opposed to them being Egyptian themselves. I think that they're pulling inspiration from like other cultures, specifically through studying, and I think that that's the point of the Belurat antiquity scholars. I'm going to put this here. And then I should probably... Okay. So I'm just gonna put sprite stones because they make a ton of. So these are Belurat scholars who were studying Rauh. So it's like they were like, "Nice gods, mind if I borrow those?" Yes, 100%. 100%. Somebody's asking what song this is. This is Katamari Forever soundtrack. Katamari on the Rocks, 5 centimeter Prince remix. Hornsent uses the Flax weapon, which is a Dacian weapon made presumably to counter Roman shields. Or sorry, Dacian. Dacian were another people conquered by the Romans during Emperor Trajan. Whoa. Okay. Damn, are we really, is this what, are we doing it? Okay, I guess we're gonna, should we just compile all the historical references today? So sorry, Falk's. Is it Falk's weapon? Falk's weapon? The curved sword. Oh, thank you so much, Cuke. Romanian here, descendant of the Dacian people. Yep, Falks are our weapon. Bloody and terrifying. Cool, okay. Oh shit, fuck. Okay. If we're going into historical arms and armor, I quite literally study them for a living. Hell yeah. I don't want to get like too, I mean, I guess we could get off topic. Sorry, this is Tony's board and I'm already like totally gonna like, we're botching it right now. Okay, wait, let's make a little section for our notes. I'm gonna do specifically over here, like Belura and the Hornsent. Let me see if you already have a section for that in here, Tony. There's a lot. Okay. I kind of want to read your notes on the Eternal Cities and stuff, because I have my thoughts and feelings about when Queen Marika left the Land of Shadow and settled on the ruins of Ul Palace. We were conquered in 106. They say that the Empire was in dire financial need and we had gold. So much gold. Oh shit. Let's get weird. Okay, cool. Never piss off the farmers. So true. Okay, wait, hello. I wanted to ask if anyone knows the difference between the Shaman and the Numen. Because people say they're the same. I think that the Shaman and like some folks became the Numen. Because Queen Marika has ties to the Nox, so it quite literally shows a timeline of like Shaman Village, the exodus of the Shaman Village, and Queen Marika's association with the Black Knives and the Eternal Cities, and her name is quite literally Queen Marika the Eternal. So there seems to be some kind of connection or relationship with that. I didn't realize it was Thursday. We're so back. Yeah. Okay, let me read through the rest of the theory and then we'll add more Hornsent stuff. I also have hella notes that I want to give you regarding the practices of Rauh too, because I feel like it would be helpful. But I think that Rauh's whole culture focuses on, okay, wait, I think it's like a mix of Near East and talking about how Judaism and Christianity came out of that cultic ancient world. So Placidus X is like Marduk and Zeus at the head of the pantheon, in my opinion. Marduk and Zeus at the head of the pantheon. I can totally see that. Somebody in the chat said needlessly convoluted lore. No, you've just never read historical fiction in your life, and like, not my problem. Not my problem. You've never read a book before. A book. Go read a book with a Q. Go read it. Go read Gene Wolfe or like go read fucking Michael Moorcock. Go read something. Go read a book. Go read. It's not my problem. I'm literally an author. Cool, go read more. That's what historical fiction is. It's convoluted because you're able to talk about like a condensed period of history over thousands of years smushed together, and like it's okay. People have different styles of writing. It's gonna be okay. I should probably read a book as a historical fiction lover. I also feel like this isn't convoluted at all. I feel like a lot of the I feel like it's convoluted for people that don't have artistic media literacy or historical media literacy. Like if you can't clock like a particular statue or painting or culture that's being referenced, you lose a lot of the context. I think like convoluted being used as a critique is saying that like something is needless or like not appropriate, but I think given the fact that they're talking about an entire span of Western history, it needs to be like pretty dense, because there's a lot of history there. There's a lot of stuff that's being talked about. But yeah. Okay, so yeah, world building requires a lot. Dense is a good word to describe it. Yeah, I would say it's not convoluted, it's dense. Okay, so let's break down some of the stuff that we're getting at. Okay, wait, the Numen's rune. The Numen are said to have come from outside the lands between and are in fact of the same stock as Queen Marika herself. Sorcery originating from putrid liquor outside of the stone coffins flings great mass of putrescence, raining ghost flame upon the area. In an age-long past, death was burned by ghost flame. Even the remains of tainted flesh were given an equal treatment in death. And Borealis is missed. The ice dragons were once lords of the mountaintops long ago, until they were defeated by the fire giants and chased from the peak. Map of Liurnian's eastern region. The majority of Liurnia, known for its vast forests and ever-present fog, is sinking into a lake. The eastern coast is home to a high road running north and south. So I actually have a question for y'all. When do you think these boats were sent over? And do you think that the boats were sent around the time... So what I was getting from this lore is that like the Numen and people from the Eternal Cities or various other cultures would send these boats to then be burned or given proper burial. But then after the Glowmite Queen and the Deathbirds were kind of like eliminated, these bodies were no longer able to be burned. And so we're getting putrescence, like things are being left to rot and like fester. There's a lot of lore that somebody says, I don't think the Nox are the Numen. There's a lot of lore that ties the Nox and the Numen together. Like specifically Celia, Ton of Sorcery, and the whole lore regarding like the betrayal of the fingers and the slaying of a god and people being banished underground. There seems to be this like transition from the Numen being topside to the Numen transitioning into being the Nox after having been pushed like... Sorry, this song is a lot for my brain. There's trombones and a bunch of other shit. But yeah, if the putrescence is the result of the dead being unable to be burnt, why does it produce ghost flame? I'm not quite sure, like, are you talking about, what are you talking about producing ghost flame? Because the putrescent flesh, it produces putrescent vortex, and then it also produces a bunch of other stuff. It is a good question. I'm still trying to figure it out. The boats are very much are from the Nox Numen, considering the silver tier nature of the putrescence. I think another thing that's interesting about these boats too is they definitely seem to be like the ones depicted in the Ul Palace Dynasty. Did you get a picture of that, by the way, Tony? Hold on. Let me snag a picture. Let me snag a picture for you. Call your father. Do you want me to call my dad? I can call my stepdad right now on stream. We can catch up. He can say hi to everybody. Okay, wait. In the steel, in the Ul Palace, the boats are on top. Yeah. That's what I was wanting to grab. Edge of Reality. I was asking Tony if they had it, but I can grab it. Ask your stepdad to answer lore questions. I could. He'd be like, what the fuck are y'all talking about? Ul Palace boats. Let me see if I have the image anywhere. We could go into the game really quick. Oh wait, I have it. We have it. Okay. So, there is also, Tony, feel free to like blow this up or erase things if you want to. I'm totally like stepping all over your lore theory. But this part of the register, a lot of folks tie it to these boats. So we see what looks to be like some kind of funerary thing. We see two twins. I'm not quite sure. We see people tending to trees as well. I should have added that. That's what I was getting at. Okay, cool. Cool. Also, hold on. There we go. All right. Ice dragons were lord of the mountain's tops long ago until they were defeated by the fire giants and chased from the peak. So what is your connection with this bit, or I guess what are you trying to say with this screenshot? Because this area is actually one of the more interesting ones in the game, this consecrated snowfield. Oh yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, Zlovsky got amazing photos of this. The ship's stern is reminiscent of galleons, the types of ships used by the Spanish on the 15th. Wait, in the 15th, during the Age of Discovery. Yeah, they look really interesting. But despite the fact that they have like galleon, I forget what part of the ship this is called, the butt, the booty. They have galleon booties. The details are very Asia Minor and Mesopotamian. We were talking about this on the stream before, but this bull right here, Rob clocked as being Persian. Let me see if I could find the image that Rob sent. It looks really similar to this bull that's going on. We just have a lot of really interesting details. I believe they're called the aspots, for sure. The stern. Okay, cool. I'm pretty sure this bull is Persian. Hold on, let me double check what Rob said. Yeah, Persian source. This particular method of bull sculpture is supposed to represent Nowruz, Persian New Year, and symbolizes the moon. So it's another celestial bull. These bulls can also be seen in the Indus Valley, I think. Yes, they can. So we're getting a lot of Asia Minor being depicted here, which is cool. But what did Tony say? Sorry, I must have missed it. The Theosophy stuff is next to the main part of the areas we found the moon seem to draw from their ancient Aryan. Yeah, the Pleiades. The Pleiades. Okay. A minor. Yeah, not like that. Call your father. I can call him. I don't know why you want me to call my dad. Okay, wait. Lots of bull imagery stuff on the ruins of the King Dynast. There's a little boat miniatures in the upper. Okay, wait. We know the Black Flame is definitely powered down version of Destined Death Flame, but does Ghost Flame also fall under this umbrella just because it's associated with death? It's weird because it definitely seems like, so it scales with different things, right? Like there's different stats associated with different types of flame. I think one is intelligence faith and the other one is just faith, right? But I think given the lore surrounding Amon and the Fire Giant's Forge, I do think that I think that flame as a concept is connected and it's been divided like multiple times. Is corpse wax modeled after putrescence? I actually think corpse wax is modeled after some of the properties of the shaman village. The person saying wait, sorry, I can't. The person saying to call is the author you told to read a book. I know, but I don't think, so there's this like long-term joke that's been happening regarding my dad is Mexican. My dad is not George R. R. Martin. My dad is some undisclosed Mexican man. There's like this ongoing joke that me and Smoketown have. It's a long story. It's a long story. And for those of you that are like, no, George R. R. Martin is totally your dad. What are you talking about? I fucking hate you guys. Oh. Okay, so anyway, we have Divine Beast Helms, we have all of the information regarding the Horned Warriors, the connection between the Old Palace ruins and some of the practices of the Horn Scent and the Rauh ruins. I do think they're connected, but I think they might be different cultures. I think that Old Palace largely represents Babylon, and Rauh ruins represent some cultures that like are almost 800 to 1,000 years older. Quay has to say that, guys, George R. R. Martin likes privacy. No fucking way. George R. R. Martin said he's Quaylock's dad in an interview. I fucking hate you guys so much. Oh. One of the R's stands for Quaylog's dad. Oh my god. I hate you guys. You guys are too much. What do you think about the Rauh ruins being inspired by the Garden of Babylon, even if it's not Babylonian? I could see that too, cute, given the proximity of the Tower of Babel being like right next to the Tower of Babel. Like the Church of the Bud is crazy. Can you drop the date for Winds of Winter? We just love ripping with Professor Quaylog, what can I say? Thank you. Also, thank you guys for dealing with how firm I can be about some things. Thank you guys for letting me be a bitch sometimes. I really appreciate it. Okay, wait, I think the Rauh ruins are partly inspired by Castle Sky. Oh. Church of the Butt is crazy. No, Church of the Butt. Oh my god. Church of the Bud. Church of the Bud, B-U-D. Smoketown just released a book titled George R. R. Martin is Quaylog's father. Next time she's gonna say Quaylin is not her brother. I fucking... oh my god. You are allowed. Okay. That Bruegel painting... whoa, I lost it. Link to Babylon was crazy. I loved it. I know, right? Finally, my church. You guys, I have a confession. I really want to play ZZZ. There are times when I want to, like, hop on my depraved, like, anime titty games. I fear. It comes and goes very rarely. Like, most of the time I'm like, art history, and then other times I just want to, like, other times I just want to play anime games. Anyway, I'm sorry. Abased. Say it ain't so. Callister, sorry. Some of my friends were showing me that there's like a shark girl. I'm getting off topic. Anyway, I want to see the shark girl. She has Louis Vuittons. There's 2 wolves inside of you. I don't. Oh my god, did you ever play Genshin? I played Genshin for a little bit, but I have very complicated relationships with gacha games. I feel like unless they take their finances and pay their laborers, because gacha games are predatory in nature. Like, randomized reinforcement schedules are incredibly addictive, and so ethically it's very dubious. But I do think that if they take their resources from their chronically addicted user base and create really beautiful art with it, it is what it is. It is what it is. So I really loved the Grand Blue Fantasy. Wait, what did Rob say? Rob. What's going on? How do you pronounce Quaylog, by the way? It's Quaylog. People say Kellogg as a joke. Quaylog, did you grow up on MapleStory? Yes, I did. I did play MapleStory growing up. Anyway. Okay, so a god and a culture hero of Ainu mythology is credited to teaching human domestic skills, and he's the reason, and for this reason he's called the father of the Ainu and the father of humanity. Rumor broke out that the giant deer terrorized human community when Ainurakur decided to test his strength as a defender of humankind by defeating this beast. He departed his fort to confront the beast. He by chance came across his future wife, the Swan Princess, near the river. He didn't have a moment to spare, so he pressed forward. While on the trail, the giant deer presented itself and promptly attacked him. It was a hard-fought battle even for him, who was used to wrestle with deers since he was very young. They were nothing like the beast he currently is facing, whose body was almost twice the size of a normal stag. Nonetheless, he prevailed and defeated the giant deer. Since that this giant deer was no malevolent entity like the ones that emerged from the ground at the very beginning of time, but a divine beast sent by the deities to test his strength. He venerated the giant deer and crafted an arrow, which he shot upwards as the spirit of the deer rode on top, ascending to the heavens. I would say also, too, if you're combining this with the myth of the ancestral spirit, I would say there's also the myth regarding the stags that are associated with Nordic mythology, because they eat the leaves from the Yggdrasil, and they create this like spiritual water and vapor that comes off of their horns. Like the dew of like the morning gathers in their horns and drips down, and that water sits at the base of the Yggdrasil. And so we're getting that imagery too, because the ancestral spirit is associated with like this water that does damage to you. It quite literally spits out this water that does like a dot when you stand in it. But the horns, the infant ancestral spirit head also ties into this myth of like a giant stag. So that's another one that I would add to this, because I feel like the ancestral spirit has so many different cultures being represented here. So don't forget, I forget how to pronounce that name. That name goes crazy. Hold on. Yeah, these ones. In the Poetic Edda, the stags crane their necks upwards to chomp at the branches. The morning dew gathers in their horns and forms the rivers of the world. These are the boys. These are the boys. Hi, Waves! Okay, wait, please Google McKinsey ship. Okay, let's do it. The specimen room was... Wow, Cooper, crazy lore-wise, yeah. Hell yeah. They got the big guy. Was he was a Polish artist, right? Or where was Bakinski from? Cooper's out cold. He is. Can you guys see him? Shut the fuck up, Waves. Okay. I want to add more to this for you. Can I move some of my notes over, actually? Hold on. I'm gonna add some notes for your Rauh section. Bakinski is indeed Polish. Okay, cool. So some of the stuff that I'm looking into regarding the Rauh has to do with like sprite manipulation. So for those of you that are like unfamiliar with this, God, it's actually like quite difficult for me to do this without all of the PNGs, which I need to grab. Hold on. I'm just gonna fart this right here. Just in case we need them while I talk about this. This is just like item descriptions. There's also... Let me get the PNGs too. Because this is gonna be like a whole... This is gonna be a whole thing. We're gonna really get in here about the Rauh ruins. Um... Also, this song is loud as hell. Okay. Alright. Where are you, Cuke? In my DMs. You got buried somewhere. There you are. I see you. So me and Cuke were talking about Sprite and how it could be translated into pixie, imp, or leprechaun for French. In the game, it's fairy that's used. We have a difference between like the fairy and the sprite, which is weird. So like the fairies when we say fairy in English, we're referring to like an entity that's almost like Tinkerbell or like a little... no, there's not construction. There's an AC going on because there's a heat wave and I will die if I turn it off, so I'm sorry. But yeah, they're like little guys. So like fairies are like little guys that are like sentient and they play tricks or they're like whatever. But sprites are more like small balls of energy. So they're seen as kind of like a little bit different than fairies. They're not always used interchangeably in English. So I think that usage was like kind of interesting. Oops, hold on. Whatever. I'm just gonna remove this. Okay. Like wisps. Yeah, more like wisps. Hold on one sec, guys. I might need to put up the BR back screen really quick. So give me one sec. The electric balls of doom and Shiofra? Yeah, exactly. Like 100% more like the electric balls of doom. I kind of hate the French localization in Elden Ring. I'm so sorry. Actually, I'm going to use this time while I'm downloading the icons. I'm going to use this time to run to the bathroom really quick. So I'll be right back. Somebody just said Morgoth wields a giant croissant in the French version, and like, I want a croissant. I want a croissant so bad. Please. All right, downloads. We're going to unzip this live on stream because I need to do that. Croissant. Stop, you almost made me drop my croissant. Alright. Let's get this Let's get this shit. All right. I know that I'm not on screen yet. Please give me a moment. So when I beat the DLC, I kind of went through like a period of media depression. You guys know how like you'll get a little sad? You get a little sad after you beat a piece of media because you kind of just feel like, oh, is that it? But then as I've been like deep diving the lore, I'm like, oh fuck, like they really did cook. And they really did cook quite a bit. And the more that I think about it, the more that I'm like, God damn. Like, the more that I'm sitting with the DLC, the more that I actually love the DLC immensely. It's like, it's kind of fucked up. It's kind of fucked up. Because I thought that like, oh, Radagon is kind of out of nowhere. But then the more that I'm realizing, like, oh, he is quite literally the embodiment of, like, a horned divine lion. And then not just that, but, like, we're seeing this motif of divinity resurfacing in various different ways. I don't know. It's fucked. Shit's, like, shit goes really hard. I don't know. It's making me reconsider Godfrey and Siraj. Like, was Siraj the divine lion of the previous era? Did he, like, side with Marika? Did he betray the Hornsent culture? Like, who the fuck is Godfrey? If Radagon is in Mohg's body, is Godfrey in Horalu's body? Is there something else going on there? Like, what the fuck is... What? Yeah, Malenia being a Valkyrie makes the Radagon fight feel way more obvious in hindsight. Yes, because the Valkyries come and, like, take the soul of, like, the warrior to the afterlife. And she's quite literally going in to go take Radagon to Valhalla. Insane. Insane. Insane shit. Okay, wait, hold on. Okay. But yeah, let me... Sorry. Anyway, so this is a spirit calculus. I want to talk about this a little bit. But I'm going to put it... Let's do this. So... From what I've been able to understand, entities that are around the Rauh ruins specifically, it has to be the Rauh ruins. Specifically the Rauh ruins. If you kill the horned animals in that area, they drop something called a spirit calculus. And for those of you that don't know what that is, a calculus is something that's in like medical science that refers to a growth, usually like a kidney stone, or something that is going on. But this almost looks to me like a teratoma a little bit. We're getting a growth that grows inside of the animals that are in the Rauh ruins, that it's like excess, is it keratin and teeth and hair? So we're getting like a little bit of like a spiritual, like a little teratoma, a little, it's a mineral buildup in teeth, yeah. So we're getting like this type of almost like germ cell or stem cell that's growing on all these different divine beasts, right? But these things, when you get them, are used in crafting items. Oh, I already had the spirit calculus here. Okay. So let me read this to you. A material used for crafting items found hunting the horned beast in the ancient ruins of Rauh has a destructive, I don't know how to pronounce this word, acrid odor? Acrid odor? I know that it's like a smell that almost like burns you or like has like a sour smell. Like when there's like a forest fire or something, it kind of like burns your senses. But it's some claim to be a sign of particular spiritual potency. So we use these, the spirit calculus, as well as like horns, the horns in the game. We use these in order to, what did I? We use these in order to like, oh. Why? In order to make sprites that live inside of the Rauh burrows. So you can kind of see there is like some spiritual, there's like a glow, like a soft glow on the inside of the horn. But what they do is they take this spiritual energy and they store it inside of the Rauh burrows, which are oval-shaped stones bearing an engraving, a relic found at the ancient ruins of Rauh. The center of the stone is like a small nest-like hole. Once this is inhabited by a sprite, the stone can be used as a ritual implement. So let me get that too. But the interesting thing about this like Rauh burrow and the usage of sprites is what you do is you're able to like control that energy, store it, and then cause a detonation. I don't know why it keeps wanting to... Okay, there we go. So here's the burrow. So it seems like the Rauh ruins hold on one second. Oh, not this song. Acrid, thank you. So you can use another item to detonate it. So what you do is you put the teratoma and the horns, like you put this spiritual essence inside of this burrow and you're able to like control it and shoot it out. And then you can detonate it using a bonding stone, which is really cool. So let me get that as well, because the bonding stone item is fucking weird. Where are you, bonding stone? I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it. It looks like a weird little... Yeah, it looks like a sperm cell. It does. Or like something, some kind of like weird... It looks weird. If I can find it. I don't know if I'll be able to find it. Oh, I found it. I found it. Here's the bond stone. So this thing like detonates this shit. I want you guys... Sus looking stone, yeah. something that's really like interesting. Oh wait, sorry, wait. Yeah, I hope you get power back soon. Somebody lost power in the chat. Sorry, I missed it. Spirit calculus may be connected to the bezoars and alchemy. The bovis or the cattle gallstones or dried up gallstones in Chinese. Okay, so I actually wanted to talk about Chinese medicine as well, because calculuses are formed sometimes in the kidneys, and the kidneys in Chinese medicine was believed to be where one of the vital organs that allowed us to secrete or produce qi. So it's like believed that these organs in which calculuses are produced in allow us to produce spiritual energy or vitality. So I think that like it's using that a little bit as like a weird, I don't know, like a weird thing. Calculi, yeah. Oh, so my kidney stones were because of my cheat. Got it. Yeah. 100% edges of reality. Pretty cool. I don't know why this is what was thought. Oh wait, larval tears look like a kidney too. LOL. Yes. They also look a little bit like a fetus as well. There's a lot of really cool little biology and ancient medicine or belief things. Anyway, what I'm trying to get at is that in order to create this stuff, you need the antiquity scholar cookbooks. So let me get one of those. So all this knowledge comes from the antiquity scholars cookbooks, which are the cookbooks that were written by people studying Rauh. Sorry, I can totally use my words. I'm starting to flatline a little bit, I'm not gonna lie, you guys. I'm starting to flatline because I'm getting a little sweepy. Getting a little sweepy, you guys. I'm sorry. I'm trying my best to hang in there. I'm still building up like streamer, ooh, I found it. I'm still building up streamer endurance, streamer stamina. Having like trying to talk for 6 hours straight or like however many hours straight is rough. It's hard. Okay. Okay. Learn via Bellerot Scholar. Okay, so we learn about the horns, and we learn about like vital spiritual energy, and we learn about the ruins by the scholars, by the Bellerot scholars specifically, who are studying Rauh. So it's like their interpretations of Rauh lore. Sleepy at noon, I love that. Yeah. I struggle with so this is like, sorry, this is like totally this is a tangent. Tangential. But I did like a sleep study to see if I had daytime sleepiness and like narcolepsy and stuff. And you have to fall asleep 5 times during the daytime in order to like qualify for it, and I only fell asleep 4 times out of the 5 times. So Anyway. I'm tired. Only 4. That's totally fine. You don't need any help or attention. Yeah, right? Nothing to worry about then. Yeah. Slacker. So sleepy, but not clinically sleepy, I guess. I know, right? Not eepy enough. That's like when I got ADHD testing. I hit all the marks on the test because I didn't have childhood records. They couldn't give me a diagnosis. I know, right? It's like, oh shit, like you could qualify, but not technically. I have the opposite issue where I can count on my hands the amount of naps that I've taken as a child. Oh man, I suffer from the great EP for sure. And want to know something that's wild? I actually have been able to combat it, and it's gotten better. But it was weird. I had to start exercising really hard to get my blood working because I found out it's like a blood pressure issue. So I have to exercise a lot. But in order for me to like have built up the endurance during my exercising, I used to have to exercise and then sleep during the day. So I would exercise at like 7 a.m. and then I would take a lunch. Big Cooper story. I would take a lunch during work and I would pass out. And that's how I got there. That's how I got to where I am now, where I only sleep once a day. But it's fucked. I'm either sleeping all the time or not at all. Same! What the fuck is with... I'm like Talier. I think it was Northern Lion who had a story about having diarrhea for 14 days straight, but the hospital told him it's only a problem if it goes for 15 days straight, so they sent him home. No. Oh, fuck. Have you ever tried biphasals to sleep? No, I haven't. Who up imbibing that nectar? Me, apparently. Okay, anyway, so what I understand about Rauh, sorry, I'm trying to get back on track. We got lions, so divine aspects of the crucible. We got lions, oops. We got birds. We got horns. We got flowers. So bloom is one of the aspects of the crucible now. I'm gonna put like this in its own column. Wings, like long ways. We're gonna go with features. So wings, horns. I already said horns. Breath, tail. And all the aspects of the crucible, by the way, sans flowers are related to dragons, which is really silly. But you know, it is what it is. It's none of my business. Crucible knot is like a scale. Storms. Yeah, vortex. Storms. Hooves, that weird thing, that weird horse thing that Devonia does. Yeah, what the fuck is with that? Thorns, yes. Thorns. So I'm gonna move these are like aspects of the crucible, and then there's like beings of the crucible, I want to say, or like oh yeah, the spiral weave. I feel pretty good about what I think the spiral stands for. Rauh seems to have a lot of white colored stuff, and white is every color combined. I'm pretty sure there's a description somewhere that says all things came from the crucible. I'm not sure. Yeah, so Moss, the Faramazula light, when you break it down, it becomes rainbow. And that's what creates the rainbow stones. So I do think you're right. Prism stones or glowstone descriptions. Yep. But let me get the hooves. Let me get the hooves and the other stuff too. Sorry. I haven't, there's too many aspects of the crucible now. I'm still thinking about the giant horn set in the specimen storage. I think about him every day. He's very Jesus coded. Oh yeah, the tongue is from the Black Knight. Yeah, let me get, shit, what does the tongue even look like? Hold on. Are you talking about the Taunter's tongue? Or which one are you, what are you talking about? Big frog tongue. Did I miss something? Maybe I missed something. The Black Knight says blink like Yoshi. Crucible tongue isn't a spell, it's exclusive to the Black Knight boss. I think I missed it. I must have missed it. Tongue is something the Black Knight uses. We can't actually get the spell. Yeah. Okay, I'll add frog tongue. Did I even spell that? Y'all, we're having a day. Blep. Blep attack. And then hooves. Do we get hooves? Is it just Devonia who gets the hooves? I forget. Well, Crucible's kind of freaky sometimes, not gonna lie. Oh, it's just Devonia. Okay, cool. No hooves, sadly. Devonia was a freak. They're more like lizard feet, but as a centaur with 6 legs. It's true. We get bloom, but don't get sticky tongue or hooves. Yeah. The bloom is so interesting to me because there was... Oh, wait. One another fun French localization. The specimen storehouse is called the Seed and Semen Storehouse. I mean, given all of this shit, they're not far off. Like, given all of this shit... Cuke. They're really not far off. The freak house. That's it. French isn't real. The freak house. That cut content Miranda attack is bloom. Yes. Oh my god. I was just about to talk about the Miranda flower. So the Miranda flower used to be... So I remember me and Loki talked about the Miranda flower, and Loki thinks that the Miranda flower was just one of Malenia's siblings, but I don't think so. Because the Miranda idol looks a lot like Queen Marika's. Yeah. Like, Queen Marika stole this shit. I don't think that this object, so I know that this is cut content, but given the artistic design happening here, I don't think that this object on the right would have come after this one. Because Malenia was born after Marika, right? But like the one on the right looks like a lot of really early Asia Minor art. Like the one on the right definitely looks like it came before. So I don't know. Yeah, the Miranda flower parts also resemble the Erd trees. Yeah, like the hold on, wait. Miranda flower is Miranda powder. This one. Ooh, the stemma. What is it? Stemma. What is it? What is it called? These are like little Erd trees. What if Miranda was a saint before Marika ascended? That's what I'm thinking. The stamen. Thank you. Like, I have had this theory that like the flower came before the tree, and then the tree comes. And I don't know. Those are on Radagon icon on Janu. Are you sure? Because the Radagon icon almost look like chrysanthemums. Like they, I mean, it could be the stemma, but these almost look like different flowers. I don't know. I could be tripping. Maybe. The bloom is also similar to the Miquella spells from the final boss. Yes, you're so right. Oh my god. Not the whole flower, just the yellow thing. Yeah, the stamen, whatever the fuck. These things. Radagon is so weird because he's associated with thorns, and he's associated with the rings of light. Sorry, we're getting so off topic, Tony. I'm sorry, we were breaking down Tony Pepperoni's thing, but Radagon is weird. Radagon is weird because Radagon is like the ring of light used to belong to the Deathrite birds. And like the crucible, he's just borrowing so much from the crucible. Rings of light, more like, why can't this Deathrite bird stay still? Yeah. I think Radagon was a knowledge sponge and like a social chameleon. I agree. Like it seems like he took a lot of shit. And I think a lot of that shit comes from the knowledge that is stored in Queen Marika's bedchamber. In addition to him marrying Renala. I sent you a statue on Discord regarding Radagon flowers. Oh, okay, thank God. Content statue. The canon one is bald. Oh my god! It's a lady instead? Okay. Yeah, Radagon is a crucible boy. The red, the misbegotten's the Miranda, the red wolf, using crucible magic, the thing at the base of his statue. I know, right? He's the crucible boy for sure. It's fucked up. I want to say though, could those flowers be the buds? Potentially. Sorry, the suspense. I just have like, I have a lot of thoughts. Yeah, the sprites are sperm, Radagon is a crucible boy, the Black Knights are Yoshi, and Quelaag is Eepee. It's all connected. So there is a there's a statue in Belurat. There's a statue in Belurat that like is two people wrapped in like a cloth, and they kind of look like the beings that are being carried on like the funerary boats, but they're holding each other in an embrace, and then there's horns growing around them. Can we talk about that? Oh, the worm couple. Is that what you guys are calling them? Okay, wait, hey, Rada fruits grow in Spirit Grace grass. You know what else does? The larva tears. Wait, Spirit Grace grass. I'll have to go look at that, Cosmos. Yes, the smaller one looks pregnant. Oh my god. I think it's like the two people that have become the shadow tree, but I don't know. We know that the trees are made out of people, which I called. I called that like 2 years ago. Tree is people. Trees are made out of people. But yeah, I think that a lot of the research regarding Rauh and like the divine beasts. Oh, I forgot to put lions, birds. There's one more. I don't know. Where do you stand on the people come from trees stuff? I don't know if the people come from trees, but I know that the dead people, Soylent Trees people, yeah, trees are for sure made out of people. I think it has more to do with like a symbol of like social attitudes as opposed to like a mechanic of the world. Does that make sense? You see the baby trees and the shadow people sit in front of. It's like the black obelisk. Are you talking about the one in that garden area? Made of or feed on people? I would say made of, Kaio. Because like the Earth Tree burials are that the trees are being fed via people, but I think that in a previous era they were quite literally made of the people via jars. I mean, the jars still feed them, but warrior jars still feed them, but in like a different way. They feed the roots. Rauh seems to be the place where those who fell from the sky landed. Yeah, there's like one divine bird warrior who fell that became like a... I'm 100% sure the people are emerging from the tree rather than people merging or being fed to it. I don't know if I agree with that. Given the nature of like the warrior jars and like the series of events that we're seeing. We're not really seeing too much birth, but we're seeing a lot of death and how death is being processed. The bodies are also being used to like build the Tower of Belurot as well. We see it in, how do you say it? Ilum? We see it in the top portion of... Emir Ilum, yeah. What time is it, by the way? 12:55?
I got a little update because I haven't tracked this really out.
Yeah, it's the Golden Order's attempt to control the cycle of death. Yeah, sorry I'm going quiet, by the way. I'm like fully... What time is it? We're 2 hours on? I'm fully falling asleep. I'm eepy. Okay, wait, hold on. Let me move some of this stuff so that way it's like less obnoxious for Tony. But I think the point that I was trying to make here, providing all this like extra information, is that it's pretty clear that like that Queen Marika and Mesmer and all the knowledge that's in the specimen area of the Shaded Keep, which is something that was brought up down here, has to do with like the weird spirit calculuses that grow inside of horned creatures and how they can then be utilized as sources of energy and like containers and explosions. I'm still trying to make sense of what it means that we can actually use Mesmer. We can use Mesmer's energy as like you could put Mesmer's flame in one of these and it becomes a fire sprite. Like, what the fuck? So you don't just need the spirit calculuses that are being formed inside of bodies. You can also... Wait, you tagged me in Discord with the stuff. Oh yeah, these little trees are weird because they don't have bases. A lot of us were speculating that it could have potentially been grave markers, but I'm uncertain. Okay, wait, hold up. I don't know if it's known already. Okay, wait, hold up. There's fire sprites too. Yeah, but the fire sprites come from Mesmer's flame is what I'm saying, which is weird. Why is... It's Mesmer's embers that cause them, which is bizarre. Okay, wait. I think I might... Wait, did you see the recent fingers and eggs in Midra Mance? Wait, what do you mean? No. What? Wait, there's fingers in Mance? Did I miss that? There's finger ruins and eggs under cloth. Interesting, I'll have to check. Wait, yeah, under the drapes. It also does say some of the people there were directly embraced by the three fingers. That's cool. Behind the invisible painting. Like the mummification of some monks. Okay, I don't know if this is gonna show up because I have to log in. Hold on, let me put this in a different window. God, I might have to go get coffee pretty soon and like a snack because my blood sugar's low. My blood sugar's low. And I'm falling asleep. I'm falling asleep. I'm EP. Somebody help me. Somebody help me. I'm tired. I'm tired. Help me. Somebody help me. Fuck. Okay, let's do Little Church lore theory really quick. And then I'm gonna go get a snack. And then I'm gonna come back and do more. Okay. So Midra was found tortured and crucified by the Horn-sent Inquisition. His wounds reveal a key detail. They're embroidered with stitches. Sekiro Dubi notes that the golden crux impaling his body is called a rune needle internally, which may hint at stitching practices. The poisoned hand and the maddening hand also have stitches. The poisoned hand is in the Inquisitor's Tower in Belurot, and the maddening hand is in the Abyssal Woods, home of Midra's manse. These places are important because they're connected to the Inquisitors and Midra. Hey Cooper, do you want a greenie? The descriptions of the items insinuate that the poisoned hand was crafted by the Horn-sent and the maddening hand by those of Midra's flock. These practices of stitching filleted skin are penitential, punitive, and vengeful. They exemplify cruelty and a desire for suffering. Stitching is an element of Belurot material culture, evidenced by their textiles. Similarly, stitching is incorporated into Midra's material culture, where Belurot-style textiles and garments are present. There's also, if you go into the boss room in the Midra's manse, it actually has Belurot architecture inside of it, which is really fascinating. It's interesting. I kind of wonder how those cultures were initially tied together. Why can't I talk? Because Midra's manse looks like a more modern academic building. Like, I'm getting Scholars of Bergenworth Debate Hall, but there's parts of the building that are quite old that seem to be like built on top of, almost like the Victorian era, you know, like the way that they used to. Yeah, they seem to have a close relationship pre-Inquisition. I'm so curious. Okay, I'm looking for these man's fingers and not finding them. Yeah, Radagon was known for his stitching and using the golden needle. Yes, I brought that up in the video before, so it's cool that it's coming up again here. Stitching used in textile art and production, however, likely the persecution practices of Belurot jail. Stitching can be a means of torturing and suffering. Below are the additional images of Midra's stitches, courtesy of Discord community member Kira. I owe a lot of gratitude to Emily's the Pants, who helped me make this post. They provided valuable feedback, in-game photography, and guidance. They write undeniably great lore. You can check it out here. So here is the Elden Ring tidbit about the Halig tree, and I think, is this the Green Man post? Or is this the As Above, So Below post? This one was really good. But it gets into a lot of the really cool architecture and stuff that we've talked about before. But Emily's take on like the Green Man and some of the cool stuff that's found around the Halig tree is some of my favorite lore stuff. Like, Emily is so good at clocking some of the stuff, like some of the motifs that Miquella likes to use. They use a lot of twins, a lot of infants, and a lot of like skull motifs. But they also use a lot of like tree root motifs and like upside down trees, which is really weird, but you'll love to see it. Go follow Emily too. Hold on. Wait, did I just like close? I sure did. I sure fucking did, y'all. Okay. Let's see if I can get it. Cool. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Go nap, girl. No. Okay, I think we reached the end of it. Yeah, okay. Quaylog, my mom says you have a nice voice. That's so sweet, thank you. Yeah, let me go. Oh, insect wings as an aspect of the crucible. Oh, thank you. People saying I do have a nice voice. Thank you. Yeah, Shelley Duvall. I saw this morning, which is so sad. We were actually, me and my partner were talking about her recently. Godskin Stitcher. Yeah. Godskin stitching. Maybe the Abyssal Woods in Belera have parallels to Bergenworth and the Upper Cathedral or divergence. Potentially, maybe. Yeah, what the hell is up with the fly disease? The fly disease is really interesting because it seems to also be linked to, like, kindness, too. Like, people that tended to the people that had the ailing fly shit. Didn't contract it if they were taking, like if people were taking care of the fly people. Wait, what? Quite like my girlfriend says, you're her hall pass. What? That's so sweet. What? Y'all are gonna make me blush. Damn. Fly mold is one of the new ingredients for rot pots. It's weird. Did we get any Glowmide Queen lore? I haven't found out any, which I'm sad about. No, we didn't, but I think that that's intentional. I'm telling y'all, the Glowmide Queen is Velka. She has been. She's always been Velka. She was sealed away by Malakath, and like that's all we get. That's all we get. She was lost to time. She was sealed away. All we have is like the remnants of her people, and that's it. We just have the Godskins running around being aimless because they don't have their mom. At least we got the Velka statue in Dark Souls 3. Yeah, so like what Miyazaki likes to do. And by the way, I don't mean that like she is Velka one-to-one. Like I don't think that they share the same setting, but I think that Miyazaki reiterates concepts. And for those of you that are unfamiliar, Velka was a deity in Dark Souls, and she was associated with like the Dark Moon and death and like illusions and the cult, kind of like it was like an occult following of people that worshipped her. And she was also associated with crows. And so we have like this strange visual imagery tied to like death and crows and the painted worlds. And then also we have what's her name, Freed, who has like gloam eyes and like a burned face. It's so fucked. Like yeah, lost shadow deity for sure. 100%. Why is the discussion chamber full of straw? I have no idea. I need to go back and explore there more. Kind of Morrigan. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Together. Shadow deity money gang. No. The straw is for sleeping on. Sometimes you get eepy while talking. It's true. I really want to replay the DLC already. Is that fucked up to say? Let's do it. Is All Mind also Velka? Is All Mind tied to like a crow motif? I'm on a second run right now. I have like 2 other characters lined up. I have a necromancer. I have a hemomancer. And I have my crucible dragon character. Yeah, Kate Markson is my wife, to be honest. I miss her so much. I miss her every day. She's so fucking stupid. The snake statue in Freed's boss room, what the fuck is up with that? That is the most haunting visual imagery that FromSoft has ever used. Can we talk about that? Hold on, wait. It's like an effigy. I hated this. I love it, but I hate it. It actually genuinely, like, it genuinely scares the shit out of me. Where is it? This is what it looks like. This is the kind of shit that evokes fear in my brain. There's a certain kind of fear that, like, Miyazaki and his art team are clocked into that is uniquely for people that grew up around spiritual centers. Like, if you have grown up around a Catholic church or a Buddhist temple or something where there is like an effigy or a depiction of a human that is in a sacred space that you can't get to, that is out of reach. Like, there's a lot of Buddhist temples that have a threshold that you cannot pass. And there's like art and there's like art and a bunch of other like effigies and like depictions. There's also like in Catholic churches, there's the threshold at the start of a cathedral that you can't pass, that has like the crucifixion or that has like other. There is some weird human depictions when they're like far away from you and obtuse and you're not allowed to go near them, that is just like so scary. Like, yeah, don't touch the holy statue. It does not open from this side. Yeah, there is just something that like is horrific about this. It looks like the saint bones that we had at our church. I know, right? But this for those of you that are unfamiliar with the statue is really interesting. It's like a terracotta statue. So the base of it, like the woman, is a terracotta woman. And then there's like this, it's like a rope with these either terracotta or wooden pieces that allow the tail to hold its shape. So she's just like a puppet. She's a effigy. She's not real, but she's made out of like this giant serpent skin and this cloak that kind of looks like Priscilla's cloak, but she has snake skin as like her hood as well. It's so off-putting to me, and like I can't. The patron saint of nope. Yeah, I think it's really strongly demystified by my church storing cleaning supplies behind the high altar. No. Oh no. But I love this. I love this very much. I just popped back in. Where's the statue? So this is from Dark Souls 3, by the way. This is one of the greater mysteries of Dark Souls. Nobody knows who the fuck this is. We'll never know. And it's so upsetting and unsettling, and I love it. Here's the Velka statue, though. Goddess of Sin. I love this woman. Sorry, I just had a thought. Midra's manse being where the three fingers themselves were born in the discussion chamber itself. Potentially, yeah. But I don't know. I think that there's something interesting to be said about the Wandering Caravan and their worship of the three fingers, and also the fingerprint shield that they're carrying around. I kind of wonder if they got the fingerprint shield from one of the fingerprint ruins itself, because it does kind of look like a slab that would have been located there. But the whole thing is really interesting. Imagine somehow if Elden Ring is connected to the Oh wait, hold on. Here are the fingers and Midra's manse, by the way. Went and took screenshots. Oh, okay, cool. So they're like the stones. They're like the finger stones. Interesting. Do you think that maybe they sewed the stones together to create the three fingers? Mm-hmm. I think there might be a connection between the merchants and the history of the Magi. Yeah, I don't know. I'm so curious. I'm curious. There are the eggs there too. Mm-hmm. Evil meteor be like toes. Currently sorting through my chest in game, and the gladiator cloak mentions that the snakes are seen as traitors to the Erd tree. Could that have something to do with why Mesmer was sailed away? So the snake being a traitor to the Erd tree, if you get into Mesmer's lore, it talks about how he allowed himself to be used as a depiction of like Marika's fear, or like he's allowing his imagery to be used as like the scapegoat. Like Mesmer the Impaler is the bad guy, so therefore Marika doesn't have to take on the sin of committing the genocide of Belurat and then also potentially doing other heinous shit that she did. Mesmer's able to like take that fall, and so she sealed him away, and he was then demonized during Erdtree Godfrey era, where the Colosseums were happening. So it's like it's pretty interesting. But as far as to like what the base serpent is, I actually got some pretty cool lore from Loki the other day. I asked Loki what Loki's take was on the abyssal serpent and the base serpent. I don't know if I can find it, because it was like a hot minute ago. It was a while ago. But the abyssal serpent / base serpent has some pretty similar lore to, and like etymology regarding the abyss and regarding some other shit. But I don't know. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Okay, so the question that I had for Loki was, in Mesmer's second phase in English, he's known as base serpent Mesmer, but he also makes a reference to the abyssal serpent, and I was wondering if the same difference in title was in the Japanese version of the game. I also am curious if the primordial serpents and the abyss in Dark Souls is being reused conceptually here. And then Loki said, Mesmer's boss name is Wicked Serpent, which does differ from his dialogue on the Abyssal Serpent. Yes, this is the same term used for the Abyss in Dark Souls. It's also the same term used in Emir's hat. Hold on, let me screen capture this, by the way. Doop. Doop, 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 doop. All right, there we go. Because I think that this was really fascinating. I need to also move my head. There. Okay, so hat of Lord Emir, High Priest, the perfect circle above the head represents the greater will's abyss of darkness, so it boosts intelligence and arcane. The man who was Rolana's sorcery professor nevertheless abandoned his allegiance to the moon. It was no more than simply close to us. Of note, Abyss only appears one other time. The sorcery of Azure, one of the primeval flow sorceries, one of the legendary sorceries. Fire an enormous comet, which is the torrent of the distant starry sky considered the home of Brightstone. It continues to fire while holding. The primeval evil flow glimpsed by Azure was darkness. It is said that he both was enthralled and terrified by that abyss. So we're having like some relationship between the abyss, darkness, and space, specifically like black holes and some other stuff like that. So there's a lot of really cool localization stuff that I don't think we got to see in the States, specifically this tie-in between space and the abyss. Because when I think of the abyss and Dark Souls, sometimes I think of a lightless abyss that happens after the Age of Fire comes to an end. Like I think of the end of a cycle. But it seems like the abyss also refers to the darkness of like space. It's like cosmic emptiness. Yeah. It's like it is something that is much larger than just the end of godhood. It is like the end of, or the precursor to space, or maybe even, yeah, it's like endless emptiness. It's something else. Was anyone else taken aback by Emir essentially telling us that the Big Bang was also an event in the Elden Ring universe? It's also, it's so scientific compared to everything else. I wasn't surprised by that because a lot of the books that these are based off of, so like, for example, we talked about Gene Wolfe earlier, we've talked about George R.R. Martin, but a lot of weird fiction and early Western fantasy was sci-fi. There are sci-fi elements in the Book of the New Sun, and there are sci-fi elements in a lot of George R.R. Martin's stories. So it's like, it's pretty cool. Like we have a couple interpretations that are happening, or like a couple of ways that people like to explore creation that are happening in tandem with each other. So we have the sorcerers and the intellectuals who are trying to analyze space, time, and creation. But then we also have people that are kind of like the faith group that are trying to understand primordial forces of nature and how they manifest via spirituality and via faith. So we're having both. Oh yeah, William Blake's blade of grass metaphor. Yeah, we're having like we're having a really deep dive into some pretty heady physics stuff, because obviously there's like darkness and light and black holes and a lot of like really cool science shit and like astral bodies. But then we also have like faith and so much like mythology and archaeology and spirituality, and it's cool to see them married in such a really good way, because I feel like a lot of old Western fantasy, those two things were married. They used to be all part of the same genre, which I love. I love that genre very much. People should reread the spells of Azure and Lasat. They just describe cosmic events. Yes. And it's also why, like, at the end of Selen's questline, we quite literally get to become orb. Like, when we think of how planets are formed in deep space, they don't form squares. They don't form anything else. Like, it's just the nature of nature that orbs are formed. And so I think that when Selen is, like, investigating the primordial current and, like, some other shit, that she's quite literally just, like, investigating orb. You know? They can form donuts. Yeah, that too. But it's all, like, spherical, or you become a gravitational center. Yeah. Ponder the orb. Become orb. She was pondering the orb and then she became the orb, for sure. Katamari all the way up, fully. It's also interesting that Radagon is the faith guy who is like, yeah, I love my egg and my space-loving wife. Oh, science and religion can be one. Just kidding. I love Marika and only faith. Yeah, that's like Golden Order fundamentalism. It's really interesting because like the Catholic Church has such an interesting relationship and history with science and with the sciences. And it's cool to see how there was at one point, and still, I mean, there's still like groups, like Catholic groups that are dedicated to the sciences. But it's really interesting how a lot of faith groups push back against science, despite the fact that like the very roots of a lot of churches were focused on science and like the early sciences. So it's quite interesting to see this like weird relationship, especially in America, regarding that, when like genetics quite literally was discovered by, yeah, Islam was responsible for a fuck ton of astronomy. There's a lot of genealogy that was discovered by a lot of religious groups too, which is like really fascinating. Do you think Radagon did love Rennala, or was he with her for the sake of the Golden Order? I think given the nature of the Cuckoo and like, so pretty much what happened there is like there is this ancient order called the Cuckoo, and they were put there to make sure that the astrologers didn't do anything too heinous. Like they were trying to look over the primordial current and make sure that everything wasn't like fucked with. And then Radagon got married to Rennala, and then all of a sudden there's a secret society of preceptors that pops up, which is like weird, and they're not allowed to talk about their secrets. They have like the Radagon mesh over their mouths that prevents them from speaking about some of the shit that they have going on. But like, I think that there was a point where Radagon learned what he needed to learn, and there was like a union. But then by giving Rennala, so he was the one who gave Rennala the amber egg, which allows her to do rebirthing magic, which is seen as heretical. So imagine you are a war general and you want to take down this woman, but you can't, she's too strong, and you end up in a stalemate with her. So you marry her, you give her a heretical artifact that allows her to do heretical magic, and then you leave. And then when you leave, she engages in heretical magic, and her own Order of the Cuckoo rebel against her, and there's a coup. There's like they overthrow Rennala. So it's kind of like there was some destabilization shit going on there, for sure. For sure. I don't think that so he didn't love her. I don't know. I think so. I personally feel like it is so compelling and like spicy, like narratively interesting to have Marika / Radagon maybe developing feelings despite the fact that she had to overthrow Rennala. I do love that on paper, but there's not really like too much evidence of it. I wish that there was, because I think that is like so spicy. I think that's so spicy, and I love that idea. So whenever I see fan art of that, or whenever I see people engaging in that like headcanon, I'm all about it. But at the same time, do I think that that's what was actually intended by George R. R. Martin and Miyazaki? Not really, but I do think the drama. Ooh, the drama. There could have been some like really cool drama there regarding like, I don't know. There's a lot of really cool. Yeah, it makes a better headcanon. Yeah. Marika and Radagon is the definition of playing yourself, and I love that idea so much. Same. I feel like Radagon didn't love Rennala, but Marika loved her. Yeah, that's the headcanon that a lot of folks have, and that like a lot of Marika's. Because Marika, obviously, at some point in the history, she backtracks on her ideals. And a lot of people think that it was Godwyn that causes her to backtrack. But it kind of seems like there is a bunch of shit that has been happening over the course of history that has led to her realizing that she needed to shatter the ring and commission Hugh to create a weapon to destroy the gods. And it seems like there is a point in history in which she makes that choice, that she wants to pursue that. And I think it was around the time that she banished Godfrey and the Tarnished, I think that that was kind of her first step of like, okay, if I send out the Tarnished who are dead but yet live, they have the ability to do things that other people can't. It seems like Godfrey and the Tarnished were like her first step of like, they'll come back and they can fix this shit. So I kind of think it was before when Godwyn got killed. I think that it was probably around the time that she sent Godfrey out, which also kind of lines up roughly with the time period of when the Omen twins were born. So I think that there's like her and Godfrey overthrew Bellerat. And I think that like maybe the fact that she couldn't escape the fell omen or like her genetics, like having children who are horn sent effectively, there's some shit that is going on with that, I think. And then I also think for some people, the headcanon of Marika potentially feeling bad about what she did to Renala, I think is also like, I would love that. I would love that. But I don't think that that's, I don't think it's it, but like I would love it if it was, because I feel like it would add to all of the trauma that finally pushed Marika like to the brink to shatter. I think that there's like so many really good motivations. Like she fought for her freedom. She fought for her people's freedom. She took it a step further and like committed like an ethnic cleansing or a genocide. And she thought she was going to be free of all of the damage that she's done. But then she has those kids. And those kids are like a reflection of the people that she like suppressed. Which is just so like, oh my God. Imagine if you were Marika and you fully thought that, like, you send Mesmer out to do a genocide, you send Mesmer out to completely eviscerate this other culture, and you're like, cool, that's taken care of. I'm sealing away my son, I'm doing whatever, and then you have kids that look like the people that you thought you killed. Like, oh my God. Yeah, she thought she was free of death, and then Godwyn happened. Yeah, she had the twins. Godwyn got killed. Like, it just seemed like no matter what she was doing, it seemed like it was just gonna catch up with her. You know? How do you feel about Marika maybe using the war against the giants to seduce the horn scent? I'm so curious about the Fell God, to be honest. And like the Tony Pepperoni, because I think that like there's some interesting lore going on with the dragons originally being the rulers of the mountaintops, the fire giants taking it over on behalf of the Fell God, but the fact that the fire giants' forge leads to Pharaoh Missoula is odd. Like, why? I'm so curious. I just have so many questions. Why do you think guidance leads us to kill Miquella? Because I think that Miquella's like era circumvents the Erd Tree, and I think given, so I talked about this before, but I think given the nature of like the way that Marika has changed the Elden Ring, I think that the greater will, quote unquote, or like the fingers tend to like correlate with the Elden Ring's like orientation, if that makes sense. And so I think that like the Erd Tree is trying to preserve itself, and we're fighting on behalf of the Erd Tree. So I think maybe there's like some, but I think like we could try to figure it out or suss it out. But I think there's also a question in my head of like, but is this actually, they're pretty good at making sure their game systems are lined up with their lore. But in a lot of circumstances, like I kind of wonder if it's less about the lore and more about like the function that it serves within the game. Like the guidance of grace is supposed to be there to help guide players like to get through and beat the game. So I kind of wonder if that's why it's there strictly. Yeah, I assume the Grace was just hard-coded to lead the Tarnished to Lordship. Yes. But it's specifically regarding Lordship within, like, the Erd Tree. Miyazaki said somewhere that they start with mechanics and then fit the story to that. Yeah, which totally makes sense. You think of a game loop and then you can write a narrative surrounding, like, all the nuanced behaviors of that game loop. But yeah, I think that, like, it can kind of... Like, there are times where I'm kind of like, wait, is it the flame of the fell god that leads to Fair Missoula and Melina? I always assumed that Melina sent us there to confront Malekith and unseal the Rune of Death. Yes, but in order to get to Fair Missoula, to unseal the Rune of Destined Death, you have to burn in the Fire Giant's Forge to ascend there. There's literally like a cinematic for it. That's how we end up on Fair Missoula, is via the Fire Giant's Forge. Also, I'll be right back. I have to go to the bathroom. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. I'm here. Okay. Let me take a look at some of the other... Hold on, sorry. I have so many DMs. Guys, don't look. Don't look. Don't look. Scrimp. Also, I am very flattered by all of the really nice comments that I'm seeing in the chat, but I also want to say too that I have a partner and a child, so please be respectful. Please be respectful. Adderall Falls. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to get to everything today. I just wanted to point out that the carvings on the side of the coffin in the ships bear resemblance to some of the symbols of Ashira. Do we have a picture of the side of the coffin? Were people simping? Chat is shooting their shot. Wait, I think the Guidance of Grace is designed by Marika to make you, the player, the most powerful possible Godslayer that you can, to destroy her and end the control of the greater will upon the world and move the world to the new era. Yes, I agree with that. But I don't think that that was her initial intent starting out, but I do think that there was a point where she was like, oh, fuck. I'm sorry if this has been answered before, but what's up with the snakeskin near the Oh Mother gesture in Bonnie Village? I think it is it is a reused asset of the Eagle snake serpent skin that was used in Mount Gelmir in the Church of the Serpent Grace, but I think that it's a reused asset. So the one that's in the church in Mount Gelmir, I think is supposed to represent Eagle, and I think it's supposed to be Eagle's skin from Rykard. But I think that the one that we find in Bonnie's village is just a reused asset that is like slightly altered. But it's supposed to just represent the base serpent, I believe. But the reason why they're reusing it here, one, it doesn't have Rykard's face on it. It's just like a snake. But I think that what it's supposed to be is it's supposed to be a hint. So say, for example, you find this "Oh Mother" emote, right, in Bonnie Village. How would you know where to use it? Like, how would you know? If you're a game developer, how would you hint to your players where you should use that emote? So if you use it, if you have a castle that is owned by the snake guy, and you get the emote "Oh Mother" that is associated with the child of Marika. "Oh Mother" is associated with Marika's child, and then also with Marika and her grandmother. There's like a relationship of children and motherhood associated with that emote, right? So yeah, there's a hint in front of the statue, but also the fact that the snakeskin is found near where we find this emote is also a hint that is like, hey, you know that castle with the snake guy in it? That is where you might be able to use the emote. Like, it just, in terms of like telling the player base where to use this like cryptic emote, I think that that's like part of what they were trying to do there. But there's a lot of theory crafting about like how Marika may have encountered the base serpent there in Bonnie Village. And maybe that's the base serpent's power, or the base serpent allowed her to overthrow Belurot. There's a little bit of that too, potentially. But yeah. Is it safe to start calling the large Raya statue Lady Elden Jane, yeah. I think so. We talked about her today, though. I do agree with Tony Pepperoni that it is in reference to Sybil. It's in reference to the Phrygian All-Mother, 100%. Given the association with lions and birds and fertile animals in nature, it's like pretty one-to-one for me. This statue is so mother. Yeah, this is like the All-Mother. This is the All-Mother of all time. But Tony nailed this. Tony sent me in a spiral because the Phrygians were also, they had the cult of the three fingers in their culture. So like I just like fully spiraled into the Eldon Jones submission. Has an elaboration comment. I don't know if I can find it. Oh, here we go. Sure, Quaylog has recently talked about the layers of time and civilizations as they stack. What we can glean from the connections in these ancient statues of the lands between and the lands of shadow, there seems to be similarities, but mostly extreme mystery surrounding Elden John and Elden Joan, or Elden Jane. We can clarify if there's enough evidence to theorize that perhaps one of the two lands were connected. And did both John and Elden Joan live in some similar time periods? What are the lore implications behind their numerous appearances, yet their lack of information? In the real world, we rarely see symbolisms that repeat yet lack an answer as to who or what they are. But here we are, aggravating invisible doors leading to no answers. Well, thankfully, they got their question answered in this lore theory. So, how do you feel about connecting the all wait, all the mother stuff to the formless mother. The jar lady in the Shadow Keep makes very similar oh mother gesture when you summon a blood pool on you. I'm still kind of stewing on that because I'm still like, so Cosmos, where I've been researching, I kind of broke down what I've been down the Rauh hole. So I haven't actually been in the meteor fingers. God, I haven't been in the, sorry, I was about to say something that sounded really awful. I haven't been in the, I haven't, sorry. No, the fingers hole. I haven't been there. I haven't fingers butthole. I haven't like dove into that bit of the lore. Yes. I've been fully living in Rauh for the past week. I've been researching the bird warriors. I've been researching how the fucking the horns and the teratoma and like all the calculus that forms on the interior of the body have like energetic capacity and how they can be used to create explosions, and how that was what the Belurot scholars were researching. And then ultimately, whatever the fuck is going on with the crucible and is going on with Rauh is what Queen Marika has in her bedchamber. That is what I've been focusing on. That's what my next video is going to be focusing on. But I'm probably going to give Tony a shout out because like Tony, this like broke my brain today. Talking of Rauh, my headcanon is that their architecture is designed to be burrows of the spirits. 100%. All of their architecture centers are focused on the burrows being at the middle of their gazebos. It's like a spiritual thing. Yes, everything that's in the realm of shadow is documented on tablets in her room beneath the veil. Yes. Yes. If only we can make sense of that jumble. That's what I'm trying to do. Because most of it seems to have to do with like innate spiritual essence that is inside of people that grow calculus or calculi and teratoma. Like people that have these extra growths. Do you want to know what I think it is? Do y'all want to know what I think it actually is? If I were to like get granular about it, I think it's just stem cells and germ cells. It's just stem cells, babes. It's just stem cells. Yeah. Stem cell DNA magic. Because all teratoma, so the reason why, so for those of you that don't know, sorry, I'm like getting ahead of myself. Teratoma can grow eyes, teeth, hair. So you can get a growth on you that has teeth and hair and like a bunch of shit inside of it. And a lot of that stuff, the reason why it's able to form human features or like fetid features is because it's utilizing stem cells. That's how we're able to like grow these excess body parts in parts of us. So cancer is people putting people in Wi-Fi jars. But yeah, I think that is what is being researched. Oh, so that's what the larval tears are. So the omen curse is like a manifestation of cancer in a way, but in the Elden Ring universe, these calculi have spiritual essence that can be observed and stored. So like you can quite literally, for somebody that you have to kill, first off, one, there are like It is specific. It's specific to the creatures that are found at the ancient ruins of Rauh. It's specific to this location. It's specific to this location. And I think that that's what the Church of the Bud was built around. I think it's related to the Church of the Bud. And I think that the crucible is in that location. Jen was talking about how they thought that like the Rauh ruins was like the crucible. And I agree. But I think it's oh yeah, sorry, hold up. I'm not looking at a map, by the way. I'm looking at a boop. Can you guys see? I'm right here. So I think that the Church of the Bud that's it. That's the location. I think that is the location. Because we have the budding horn item. I don't think so the crucible seems to be a space. It's like an area. Because only creatures that are found in and around the ancient ruins of Rauh develop this stuff. This comes from this area. But like, I want to make it clear though, the Church of the Bud did not used to be a church of rot. The scarlet rot spread to the church through, I'm assuming, the sealing of the outer god of rot down in the Undercities. Because like, the location of the Bellerot Tower and the location of the Church of the Bud is very geographically close. It's on the west side of the map. It's pretty geographically close to like where the outer god of rot was sealed away. So I kind of wonder if when she was born, or if when Romina was being burned alive, if she was able to commune with the outer god of rot, which then summoned him. I'll poke around. Somebody said there's a post on Reddit that's suggesting that the crucible is the sun, hence why it's featured prominently in Rauh. I'll check around to see if there's like any sun imagery there, because there's quite a bit of sun imagery going on with like the fell god. I would be open to that, but I think that like so yeah, the Crucible has aspects of nature, but there is a particular area where people are getting divine spiritual essence inside of them. It's a particular area. It's a particular area. I cannot highlight this more. It's a particular area. It's in the ancient ruins. But also Devonia is on the search for the origin of the primordial crucible. We fight Devonia in the ancient ruins as well. But shout out to Jen, who was in the chat before, who was like, I really think it's this. And I was like, I think you might be right, but I think it might be where the tower, the divine tower is being built. Which also, like, the Bud kind of borders that too. Yeah, like, so Cosmos, I kind of wonder if when Bellerot were like, when the people of Bellerot were building the divine tower, if they chose to build it on a site that is like right below a divine area, like where if you were to build like a gate going into the heavens, it would need to be in an area of some significance. And I think that area, the fact that the Church of the Bud also is facing that area, I think is like suspicious. It's like a divine ley line. Yeah, I think so. And I think that that's also why the Spira incantation's being used a lot in that location. But I do think that like the fact that the ancient ruins of Rauh is a significant location for this. The Church of the Bud is a significant location for this, and Belurot's Divine Tower is a location for this. The Hornsent built the Divine Towers, yes. Belurot and like the Divine Tower was built by the Hornsent. I don't know if it's a meteor impact site. I think that, Tony, aren't you speculating that that might be the case? Specifically with like the Elden Star spiral. Wasn't there like an image that you had? But I don't know. Like, do you think that the impact site is where they built the tower, or do you think the impact site is in Rauh somewhere? Man, I just wish we could have met this. Whoever this was. I wanted to meet them. I want to give them a little smooch. Yeah, Virgo, we were talking about that. We were talking about not just Jewish people, but also the Phrygians being targeted by Rome. The Romans. But that also ties into like the Jewish push. Who is Rana named on the dancer items? I feel like isn't Rana a place? I think, didn't it say Rana, that she's from Rana? I need to go back and look. Rana seems to be the locale, yes. Yeah. Rana is it's the dancer of Rana. Yeah. So Rana is like a location. But something that's really interesting about all of the grave sites that we go to, the mausoleums, is that all of those people are people who are dead and have some significance, which is like really interesting. But yeah, they look exactly like Tanith. They share like a lot of face data with Tanith, so I kind of wonder if she's related to Tanith in some way, like maybe they're sisters or something. I feel like Rana is definitely Tanith's homeland. I agree. They were both dancers and they share the same face data. But yeah. Yeah. But it makes sense that like, so hypothetically, if Rykard went to a place where he found a divine serpent, and then he also met Tanith at some point, maybe this journey can inform our understanding of where the base serpent and some of those practices came from. But I don't know. I think the original crucible wasn't a thing, a seed of life, but it doesn't exist anymore. And the energy was spread out and started life on its own through the world through a network of trees. The tower is vaguely where it might have been. Yeah, it's weird because like I think that like the spirit calculus gives credence. So Cosmos, remember how you were saying that like the omen seem to be absorbing stuff into their flesh given the nature of like the filth that they were surrounded by, that they were absorbing like curses within their skin. I almost wonder if it's just like the absorption of like spiritual essence, which is why they're haunted by spirits. And I don't think it's innately a curse. I think that sometimes, and especially in Hornsent culture, that they're absorbing this like spiritual essence into their skin and it's forming these growths. But like the Hornsent character also can use rancor. So I think that like there is something going on with these people being able to absorb leftover spiritual essence that is kind of like happening with that. But it's just interesting to see the two cultures contextualize it in different ways. In Queen Marika's culture, it's like a curse. But in the Hornsent culture, it's like this divine shit. The horns, like horns in real life, are for the thermoregulation where they regulate spirits. That's what I'm thinking, because the burrow looks like a series of horns. This thing. So I don't know. I think that there's something going on with that. And I think there is some reason why Queen Marika was like researching it. But I'm still like investigating. Would that be the reason why Moog is able to absorb Radagon's soul? I think so. And I also think that, like I talked about before, there was that lore theory that Jean posted about. Naro Kurai said, I think it's neat that the Hornsent revere a horned lion god, but with Radagon reincarnated into Moog's body, he is literally a horned lion god. Or because like Radagon is like the lion general. He's known as like the golden lion. So we're getting this like theme of a horned lion god. Elden Ring is full of prophecies being fulfilled in unexpected ways, so it would be really funny if all this time the Hornsent were building their religion out of a prophecy of Radagon. So it's like, it's really interesting. I don't think it's like just that Radagon was being prophesized, but I think that like the lions and the Hornsent used to be revered, but it definitely feels like Radagon is almost like an echo of this previous era that's been suppressed. A horned lion with red and gold aspects. Yes, right? Shit goes crazy. So, like, initially when I beat the DLC, I was a little bit disappointed in the usage of Radagon. I was a little sad, because, like, I think a lot of us wanted Godwyn, a lot of us wanted some other cool stuff. But now that I'm starting to kind of break down and understand, like, the Crucible lore, and, like, Sarash and Godfrey, and the Divine Beasts, and, like, a bunch of other stuff, I'm starting to realize, like, how fucking awesome. I don't know. It's so good. It's so good. Prophecies being fulfilled in unpredictable manners is such a George R. R. Martin trope. Prophecy will bite your prick off every time. Yeah, right? I will die on the hill of I wanted Godwyn and the Glowmite Queen. Me too, but I kind of was expecting... I was hoping we were going to get Glowmite Queen, but I was kind of expecting that... because she was sealed away by Malekith, we can't really go back in the past. I would love a DLC. So I think that Bloodborne was like the perfect way to write a story, because it's all based off of dreams and memories and nightmares. You are able to quite literally enter somebody's like old memories and perceptions, like a diorama almost. Like I could revisit my childhood as like a third party and like go walk around in it, you know? And I kind of wish that we got that a little bit with Elden Ring, because it would make some of the bigger lore reveals feel, I don't know, it would allow us to be able to like travel to the past and quite literally see something unfold. But at the same time, I do love the way that I do like seeing Miyazaki breaking away from something that he's already done and trying to show us like a previous era that hasn't been changed or that hasn't been touched as much. I don't know. I just appreciate it. I very do appreciate the parallels to Godfrey design with Sarash and Radagon with Miquella. Yeah, right? Like, so like with Godfrey, he's like an all-father or like a man who has a ghost lion on his shoulder, but now we have a man who is a lion who has a god on his shoulder. It's like an inverted... It's great. Wait, lions presiding over birds, like Sarash providing over Stormveil. Yeah, I do think Sarash is connected to Stormveil in some way, and so is Godfrey, because I do think that the fact that Nefeli Lu is like the rightful heir of Stormveil makes me think about a lot. Makes me think about a lot. Radagon also idolized Godfrey. Yeah, like the past echoes into the present, and it kind of loops in on itself like an Ouroboros a little bit. Sarash definitely has some Storm King relation. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Wave says, hi, YouTube. All right, but I think I'm going to like, here, let me see if I can hit up Shrimp. We only made it, we didn't make it like too far into this. Oh wait, you did send me this. And cool fish. What is this? Oh, is this like a okay, let's read this one and then I'm gonna call it a day today because I'm sleepy and I want to play my anime games. We hit 50k views. Yes, we did. We did. I'm like still writing the script for my next video right now and it's gonna be on Rauh. And we actually got like a really beautiful thumbnail submitted to me via Little Church Lore. So I'm really excited to talk about it, but we're gonna get into Mesopotamian shit, we're getting into Asia Minor, we're getting into a bunch of stuff. But I wanted to ask Tony, if you are still in the chat, would you mind if I brought up your Miro board and any of your socials if I reference you? But I'm gonna be, the main purpose of the video is gonna be focusing on all of this shit, the stem cell stuff. But it would be cool to definitely just mention the statue that you found, because I feel like that was huge. But I don't know if Tony's still here. I simply do not know. For sure. I don't have anything for people to go to though. Oh no! Okay. Tony is here on YouTube. I'll just make sure to reference you and point people to your Miro board if you would like that. Prince Rupert's drop? No. Hold on. I'll look into that in a little bit. Hold on, wait. Oh, they're like glass beads. Yeah, a little bit. I think it's like the pearlescent nature of it that I can see. For sure, thank you for going over it. Yeah, no problem. Thank you for submitting it. Okay, wait. Where were we? We weren't here. This is not where we were. We were talking about Velka. Okay. Hello. I have two related theories here, both having to do with spirals. Meteors fall in the lands between created the conditions for the study of the primeval current, likely as a conduit. This is literally like what we were just talking about too. From Meteor's remembrance, we get this passage: the mother of all two fingers and finger creepers was in turn a magnificently gleaming daughter of the greater will, and the first shooting star to fall upon the lands between. Selene describes glintstone as the amber of the cosmos. Meteor isn't the first thing to arrive from space, but she's the first living thing. So instead of a divine cell phone, as Quelaag described her, I think Meteor is more of a divine telephone pole who transmits signals from the lands between to the greater will and vice versa. If we look at the staff we can get from Meteor that's modeled after her tail, we can see that it requires equal amounts of faith and intelligence, which to me implies that Meteor is a creature who's meant to bridge the gap between terrestrial, the lands between, and extraterrestrial, space and the primeval current. We don't have direct evidence that the primeval current is involved, but I think the idea is supported by the studies of Azur and Lasat, the two sorcerers who were expelled from Raya Lucaria for their investigations into the primeval current. This description from the Carolus Glintstone Crown says that this conspectus is the oldest of the Academy's lineages of study that begat by the sorcerer Azur. Scholars who follow in his footsteps pursue the mysteries of comets. Likewise, the Olivinus Glintstone Crown reads, The lineage of the Olivinus Conspectus began when the sorcerer Lusat and its adherents continue his study of meteors. Why this focus on meteor and comets? They're falling stars. Selene, who is trying to restore the primeval current, asks you that you retrieve Lusat and Azura's bodies, presumably because they're required for the restoration. The only idea I have as to why those two are needed specifically is because their bodies began to crystallize in their studies, reaching a near inorganic state according to their respective gauntlet items. In essence, Lusat and Azur became falling stars themselves. Spirals appear in a few places within the story, as mentioned. Meteor's staff and tail feature spirals, and Emir's staff also hold a spiral shape. It's also, I also believe that Lusat and Azur themselves represent twin tendrils of spiral themes propelled towards the same goal of understanding and being one with the primeval current. Most tellingly of all, though, is the last spell that Selene teaches you before she meets her fate, this Shard Spiral. The sorcery of the Carlos Conspectus, the most venerable of the Academy. This was the product of a failed attempt to create a new comet. Presumably, Azur tried to create a new comet, and at one point, Lusat either got involved as a rival or a companion. The motive for Azur and Lusat's actions are hard to guess. To my mind, they were trying to circumvent Radagon's hold over the stars so that they could tap into the primeval current by creating a comet that they could control. In any case, I don't think it's a coincidence that the ultimate spell that you learn from Selene possesses a spiral shape, especially given her goals. Stray thoughts. Although Meteor in the Land of Shadow, is in the Land of Shadow now, I think it's safe to assume that she landed before Marika split the lands in two, and Glintstone as Amber of the Cosmos acts as a microcosm of the universe in the same way that the microcosm, or in the same way as the microcosm at the end of Meteor's staff. 2. The three fingers first manifested in the Land of Shadow among the Hornsent as a corruption of the spiral incantation. When we look at Midra, one of the first things you'll notice is the way that his clothes are hanging off his body. They're not so much being worn as they are draped over his body, adjusting themselves to his movements. Midra's basic attacks are reminiscent of orbital movements. He swings his sword in long arcs, and he emerges from the epicenter of his bomb like a new star that's being born. He has another move where he floats in the air at you headfirst in a way that reminds me of spiral imagery that we are now familiar with. The piece of Midra's design that got me thinking about this connection to the spirals is of his sword, the Sword of Great Damnation. The cinematic that plays during his boss battle, we see winding actions of the barbs of the sword as they contort and retract around the blade. The sword transforms from a holy implement reminiscent of Jory's staff. Yeah, it forms the candle tree into something far more grotesque. The shape of the Great Sword of Damnation evokes the spirals that we see elsewhere, but I think the blade in the middle is also important to consider for its implications in the lore of the three fingers. The spiral shard spell, which we see no central fulcrum, has a spiral rotating around it. In spiral incantations like Spira, we do. I think also, too, something important to mention here is that we have the Spira, but if you actually look really closely, I don't think you'll be able to see it in this image, but the center pole is actually two hands that are reaching. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's right here. Hold on. If you get a higher quality image, it's right here. These are two hands that are coming up through the center and reaching. Oh wait, sent on Discord. Thank you, Cuke. Yeah, you can see the two hands here. So we have what looks like two trees, because we have tree leaves coming here. So we have two trees that are intersecting, and this symbol right here, which we see around the Hornsent, and I kind of wonder if it's supposed to represent Hornsent culture. So this is the Hornsent building the Tower of Babel and using the shadow tree to reach into the heavens is kind of the way that I interpreted this sigil, but correct me if I'm wrong. But I do think that this little horn that is happening here is something that we see in Asia Minor and other cultures that inspire Belurat. So yeah, the symbol looks like the crest above your head when you hug Radon. That sigil originally, if you poke around Belurat, that sigil originated in Bellerot first before it became Miquella's charm mark, which we know that Miquella steals shit from like a bunch of different cultures. But yeah. Making contact with God, yeah. Reaching up into the heavens, it looks like. I'll show you a picture of some of the golden implements that this looks like in Bellerot, but I think that it's supposed to represent horns. I think that these are supposed to represent horns. There's a picture in the Indus Valley. Let me see if I can find it. Like, of a horned person that I think this is like drawing from quite a bit. We see them surrounded by like bulls and lions and goats and other various animals. So I think that this kind of like horned beast motif is like something that's being used. If that makes sense. But yeah, okay, wait. So this imagery evokes the caduceus, a symbol going back to antiquity, with Mercury and Hermes. We talked about Rome earlier and how they take a lot from other cultures. So this was specifically Thoth, and had to do with Hermes, but it also had to do with Thoth. And it created the Hermes Trismegistus entity that we know. But yeah, okay, I'm not equipped to dive fully into the religious art symbolism here, but to me it strikes an association with the heralds, which explains the messianic posture that Midra strikes. Yeah, there we go. To me, the Great Sword of Damnation evokes the three fingers by introducing a third digit where there was none before, with the fulcrum of the sword representing the third digit. I think it's likely that the three fingers first emerged in the Land of Shadow amid spiral incantation users, because the prominence of the caduceus imagery between Midra and the horn scent. The three fingers read more like a corruption of existing religious mores, instead of being an aberration that appeared out of nowhere thanks to an outer god. One hole in this theory is that the horn scent do not appear to associate with any two fingers, but we know that through Meteor, they must have existed at some point in the Land of Shadow. Stray thoughts. Midra is holding a bone-like object in his left hand. I think this is the third digit that makes the three fingers into its own distinct entity. It could represent chaos and its power to pierce through the order. So this is the thing he's holding. The name Midra is likely a reference to Mithra, god association with Zoroastrianism and Roman cults. Midra is sometimes associated with Aramanius, the minor god, who has some familiar imagery. Midra's flaming head is also reminiscent of the imagery of the fleeting microcosm spell. The bulb at the end of Meteor's staff, I think, is a parallel that's intentional, with obvious differences between the flames being surrounded by Midra's head. I think also, too, like another interesting thing is there's this constant imagery with the microcosm looking like an eye or an iris, and the madness spell is quite literally a blown out pupil. So let me pull this up. The madness meter, is it frenzy meter? Frenzy meter. This guy is quite literally a blown out pupil. So I think that we're getting this imagery of like something that is both representative of like the cosmos and an eye and light and dark and like a frenzied understanding of those things. I've talked about like giving into despair as well, and like how a lot of the people that get infected with the frenzied flame are oftentimes people who are like wishing for despair, or wishing for the melding of all concepts, because suffering is caused by disparity or by like opposing concepts, by consciousness. So I think that like we're having a little bit of a difference. I think the thing that is interesting to me, so it seems like some of the lore in Mance is gearing up for Midra and his group potentially being involved with the creation of the three fingers, but I'm like so curious as to the implications of that, because it seems like Nanaya knew a man before who's associated with madness or the three fingers. But I also think too, because like the spine that she's holding is somebody's spinal column from before. But I think something else that's interesting too is that the aesthetics of the wandering caravan and the people that worship the three fingers are like their aesthetics are much older than Midra and Mance. Like Mance is quite new aesthetically. It's like almost as new as Rykard's, as like Mount Gelmir aesthetically. So it's very weird. But there's parts of Midra's Mance that is like very old. It's weird. Like the manner is so odd. So I'm not quite sure. I think Nanaya's torch was a child. So in the item description it says long ago there was a man. Let me pull it up again so that way. It says a torch made by attaching a dying flame of frenzy to a small spinal column. In a distant land, in an age long past, there was born a man who failed to become the Lord of Frenzied Flame. All that remains of him is cradled gently by Nanaya. So it's like, it's odd. And I think also too, like when you pull this item out, it's a part of a spinal column, but the size of it is the size of a normal person. But the fact that it's referred to as like a man, was born a man who failed to become the Frenzied Flame. Maybe it was her son at one point, but like he seemed to have grown up. No, Midra still has his spine intact. So they attached the dying flame of frenzy to the spinal column, but it also says all that remains of him. So there's a few things that this is saying. It's saying, in a distant land, there was born a man who failed to become the Lord of Frenzy, but all that remains of him is cradled by Nanaya. So like this man and his remains are being held by Nanaya that they then attached this dying flame of frenzy to. It's weird. The phrasing of it is odd. But I think that Nanaya has some shit going on. I feel like Nanaya is constantly trying to prevent the creation of the Lord of Frenzied Flame. I agree. At first I thought that she was trying to evoke the Lord of Frenzied Flame, because it seems like no matter where she goes, she becomes involved. Like she was in a distant land before dealing with this, and now she's here dealing with this. She is a messy queen. Nanaya is torrent. Maybe Nanaya and Midra found it in travel. They seem like nobility. I don't know. Yeah, at first I thought Nanaya was leading Midra, but I don't know at all. Yeah, I'm like starting to get different impressions, Bomb. Like at first I thought she was forcing him to endure suffering because suffering leads to sainthood and allows you to invoke an outer god. But I recently got some notes that somebody found that hint that maybe that might not be the case. Midra is not a horn scent, no. Midra apologizing to Nanaya before giving in is really important. I agree. Do you think the two parts of the torch are two parts of the same man? Wait, what do you mean two parts of the torch? Like, this part and like this part? Or what do you mean? Yeah, Nanaya is such an odd one, Emily. Does she not try to make him endure so the frenzy will get stronger and stronger? I don't know. Why did the Inquisition happen to Midra? That's like another thing that I think is really fascinating, is that the Inquisitors went down there. First off, the Inquisition declared that Abyssal Woods as like an area that you do not go. And it seemed to predate, I don't know. See ya, Fur. Aging untouchable aspect really confounds me too. Same. And like the church that was down there, what was the church? Like the location of a church down in the abyss that doesn't seem to have like a particular deity tied to it. And then also too, the ruins of Unt or whatever being down there. Fucking what? Like there's so much. They had to declare it out of bounds because the flame of frenzy burns flesh and spirits. Spirits are very important to the Horn Scent because they build their stairway to heaven. Yeah, Javier, I see that. And I also see like that just in general, that the flame of frenzy is... I don't know. I feel like I have a lot that I'm still digesting with that. My theory is that Midra went there to study the frenzy outbreak. Yeah, I'm kind of having like, I think a chicken or the egg situation where like, yeah, I understood Midra's Manse was a part of Horn Scent culture first before the frenzy contaminated the area. That's, yes, because the building itself has like Belura architecture inside of it. It's so, I need to go through it again. There's so much. This quote from Melina also contains the word endure. Yeah, she says like, I know what you're talking about. She says like, it's her birth and death line, right? Yeah, life, oh wait, however ruined this world has become, however mired in torment and despair, life endures. Births continue. There's beauty in that, is there not? If you would become a lord, do not deny this notion. Please leave the frenzy flame alone. Like, whoa, still going. Yeah, these streams usually take fucking forever. They're usually like 4 or 5 hours long. Okay, wait, I always thought Horn Scent culture was associated with Mance. Nanaya arrives. Midra studies the flame corrupts the woods. Inquisitor bans the woods and stops Midra. I also wonder, I think that that's the Order Phoenix, and I think the thing that stands out to me is the Wandering Caravan and the Fingerprint Shield. Like, was Nanaya part of that culture? Like, how did she know about it? What? I don't know. Sorry, there's so many submissions. So yeah, Serialgraph, I also assumed Nanaya was another Shabriri and Hayeta type character, but okay, so here's my initial take. I thought that she was asking Midra to endure because when you're engaging in asceticism, suffering allows you to be able to commune with outer gods. So I thought that there was some weird cult that was like practicing self-suffering and like self-harm in order to invoke this relationship with like the frenzied flame, which is why I thought she told him endure pain, so that way she becomes she becomes heinous. I don't know. That way she becomes also Virgo, I disagree on the misogyny thing, like fully. Everybody in Miyazaki games are bad, and that's also not entirely true. Melina is great. There's a lot of different characters that are women that are like fantastic in these series. I would say too, Freya is fantastic. I love Freya. Rodrika. I would say sometimes if you're writing women in oppressed situations, that doesn't mean that you innately think that women should be oppressed. I think that it is a like realistic depiction on like the ways in which women had been treated in certain periods of history and like some other shit. There's a lot. I'm just gonna ignore Raya. Yeah, I love Raya. Raya's like the best, sweetest character. But yeah, I would say like another depiction of this, there's a book called Between Two Fires that focuses a lot on like how like one of the characters is like a frail young girl and she experiences a lot of abuse and assault. And it is rough to read. It is a hard read, but I don't think that it reflects the author's feelings or sentiments surrounding women. I just think that there's like something that's being painted here about the nature of suffering. Just like period. Did you see the painting inside the Midra mansion that shows the mansion and the abyss pretty full of flowers and greenery? Yes, Taka. There's also the Unt ruins that are down there that are surrounded by flowers, and it seems like the inside of the ruins are protected, and there's still like a whole floral vibe to it. I definitely was getting like King Arthur vibes from that zone because you can unsheath your sword there. The stone scabbard sword, it's one of the paths that you can like unsheath it. Latenna is best girl. I love Latenna. Latenna's fantastic. I love I think one of my favorite FromSoft, I mean, obviously I love Quaylana and Quelaag and Izlalith. I love Emma. But yeah. I think humanity, by and large, in Miyazaki games or FromSoft games, ambition is like typically the path of suffering, and women are just as ambitious as men. The prostitute from Bloodborne as well. Yeah, she's the woman of all time. God's favorite princess. Yeah, Nefeli Lu, my lord. Yeah, Nefeli is like fucking perfect. I don't know. I don't get it. I think From tries to deconstruct systems by looking at how it affects the characters, and women are often affected by the systems at play. 100%. And I think also the sympathetic view of how mothers are being treated in Bloodborne, like, we talked about this on here before, but like, the way in which men's ambition to pursue evolution came at the expense of mothers in the Bloodborne setting. It required like the torture and the annihilation of cosmic mothers and also Queen Yarnum and a bunch of other shit. Like, it's very clear that there's a sympathetic attitude surrounding motherhood and like femininity in these games. But you know, what do I know? Can we think Rodrigo was somehow a shaman too because she was supposed to be grafted and she could connect with the spirits? Yes, I think so. Selene's story breaks my heart. It's weird. I don't actually feel bad for Selene. I feel like Homegirl, like... Are we talking about Selene from Elden Ring? And not Selene from Demon Souls? Selene from Elden Ring, she fucking went out and she achieved what she wanted to achieve. She went out and she wanted to discover the mysteries of the universe, and if that involved her becoming a ball, baby's gotta do what a baby's gotta do. She fucked around and found out I admire her nerve. Same cool fish. Oh my god. Like, I feel both proud of her and also kind of like, you know, fuck it, we ball. Yeah. We stand a basketball queen. Did she want to be that well-rounded? Because it seemed that she had long-term plans. I mean, I'm sure she had long-term plans, but like, if historically scholars become balls when they research the primordial current, or they become stones, and she's like, I'm gonna study the same thing, you know? I'm telling you, baby's gotta do what a baby's gotta do. That being said, let's see who's live right now. Who's live? Saint Rot? Saint Riot? Why did I say Saint Rot? We have Larxa. We have hella people. Okay. I am going to end the stream now. Become balls. Yeah. Wizard self-destructing to magical. Wait, Melina burns to death. LMAO. Ditching us? Okay. Yeah. It's almost like suffering isn't just for men. It's almost like there's a bigger conversation to be had about the power systems in the game. So I don't know. I think that is a silly conclusion to come to, in my opinion. Like I said, given, like, if you're just gonna ignore the entire power structure and like abuse that's happening in Bloodborne and how it is portrayed as a bad thing, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. Both genders can suffer, really? Yeah. I feel it's disproportionate. No way, because it's not the Scholars of Bergenworth targeting mothers because they perceive eugenics to be the salvation of humanity is like a very pointed conversation about men in the church. It's like very pointed, especially not just any spiritual system. It's quite literally the Western church. It is the Western church. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy that the men that are tied to the Western church that are involved in academia target women. It's kind of crazy that they're the bad guys in the series. It's bonkers. It's bonkers. Bloodborne is a game about using saws on Jesuits. Fucking crazy. Crazy. Jesuits are weak to bone saws, by the way. Apparently. And fire. The Western Church, you cannot emphasize that enough. Yeah, it's not like Bloodborne doesn't take place inside of a fucking mosque, you guys. It doesn't take place inside of a fucking, like, It doesn't take place inside of a Buddhist temple. It takes place inside of a fucking Catholic church. Get with it. Get with it. Come on. All right, let's go raid. Let's go raid Larksa. Also, thank you so much for all of y'all for contributing to the conversation and for coming and hanging out and chatting. And we're out here doing the most. I don't know. I'm so tired. I'm ready. I love you. Yeah, love you guys forever. You guys are the best. The rant as the stream is ending, I can't. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you guys for all your support and like kicking it with me. We're reaching partner plus eligibility. We're at 69 over 300. So please give me a subscription on Twitch if you would like to. No pressure, obviously, no pressure whatsoever. Everybody who's just here for free is like amazing. Y'all are amazing. Thank you so much. You guys are the best. Okay. Blah, blah, blah.